Yes, yes. Back a motherfucking again. Time to get to it. Hello, world. What up, Tom? What up, E? What's cracking,
Bonjour.
What's happening?
Bonjour. What's happening, man? What's happening? It's a slow week. Slow week.
Definitely slow week.
Man, I just don't. I mean, the world.
You see how buff this nigga getting?
Who?
Right here.
Wiz Khalifa?
Look.
Oh shit. Let me take a look.
What the hell?
You saw
Yeah,
that?
Working out, bro. Working out.
That's crazy. Anyway, back to the show.
Back-
I just seen that nigga last season. He's a fat nigga. Oops,
Yeah.
there I go
Physical
again with
fitness.
the N word. I said I was gonna
Physical
quit saying
fitness,
that so
man. Don't
much.
take much to get you right.
Get to the gym.
It take a lot more than what you think. It's a little harder than that because I know I ain't been in forever.
3 or 4 months. You see results.
I'm gonna tell him.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna tell him.
Y'all niggas, shut up.
Oh, here we go. Somebody.
Is that a?
He gonna
a-
talk that shit.
Oh,
You
I
ain't
mean,
never been.
is that a challenge?
Nigga, I went before you went. What are you talking about?
See,
Once
no,
again,
hold on, here we
once
go.
again, here goes something he gonna tell me about that I tried to get him to do a long time ago.
Okay. Did
And
I
that-
did I not work out with you when you started going?
You did one time,
Yeah,
you said it was too
y'all
early.
did too early. Y'all too early.
and then you didn't do it for 5 years after that.
Yeah, and I've been doing it for 2. Now I've been doing it for the last 2. Motherfucker, you went for 3 weeks.
That's a damn lie, Tom. I
Damn.
did that shit for a long time.
What's a long time?
10 years ago.
I did that shit for at least about a year. Cause I was buying them damn. That's back when they was making that Myoplex, them protein shakes. I was buying them shits like every 3 months. Cause it was only They don't even make that shit no more. Did you fuck with Myoplex?
Nah, I didn't.
That shit was good. I used to mix it with the Tampico. It had the vanilla flavor. I mixed it with the Tampico. But anyway, I'm a long way from that now.
Is it me or is California on fire? This motherfucker. God.
That shit is
damn.
crazy, man.
Man,
I
God
woke up
bless the
ash like a
firefighters.
motherfucker on the car. I couldn't. I was like, damn, man, where the hell is this fire at around the corner?
Hey, it's giving me asthma. Them motherfuckers, there's smoke everywhere in this bitch. Like,
It's up by Clear Lake, right?
it's everywhere.
Further than Clear Lake?
Shit, I don't know. It's like two or three fires.
Yeah, man.
It's everywhere. It's like
it's so
I
hot,
feel like
so shit.
I've been smoking 10 packs a day or something.
Yeah,
Shit.
man, it's just straight gray outside.
Shit, them
shit's
firefighters
crazy.
are literally frying pan into the fire. And them
Mhm.
fools is just in it. God damn. Pay them dudes. Pay them.
And it's hot.
Yeah. I hope it cools down at as high as they are over there.
Well-
let it cool down a little bit or something, or at least get some rain, something. Shit.
I seen it on the news, and people got the story all twisted. And shit, I don't want to twist it up, make it worse. But supposedly, a grandfather left in the morning with his left his kids, left his grandkids and his
Oh, yeah, I
wife,
heard that.
right?
Yeah.
And went to the store
No,
or somewhere.
Yeah, he just went to the store real
And then the
quick.
kids called him up like, "Grandpa, man, the house on fire." Basically,
They said it
you
was
know.
coming up through the back or something like
Yeah.
that. They said, "Come get us."
Yeah, and had to come back. And Tommy made it back, man. It was too late. I mean, that
Kids and
which
wife,
is
whatever.
isn't that just crazy, man? That's got to be a horrible, horrible feeling to have somebody on the phone telling you that it's going down and you need to save us, man. That shit
that shit
crazy.
moves
This-
fast, bro.
This fire shit in California, man. It's like a season. It's like we got winter. What's it? Winter, spring, summer,
and fire.
fire season, fall,
Yeah.
and then winter again. It's like we got our own fire season. Every year we catch on fire.
And wait till this season when there ain't no trees and
Then the
loose-
mudslides
Yeah,
start.
all the mudslides like last year. Yeah, all those mudslides because ain't nothing supporting that dirt.
I mean, I'm thinking we having more fires than we do earthquakes.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, up in Sacramento, it's just not. Well, I haven't even heard earthquakes down in the Bay Area, but Sacramento, you really don't feel the earthquakes. I mean, since I've been living up here, I think I felt a little bit of one. That's it. And then
We-
when I lived in the Bay
so
Area,
you
man,
weren't-
all the time.
When we
I
had
saw
the
them
Bay
bad boys.
Area earthquake in, was that 89?
Oh yeah, I was
that
there.
89 one.
You were back.
Oh,
You was in the
shit.
Bay Area.
Yeah, that was hella funny because motherfuckers live in the Bay Area. We think we know everything, of course. So we in the we in the earthquake, and it starts shaking, and I'm like, oh shit, hurry up, man! I'm trying to watch the game, right? I'm not even budging from the bed. I'm just
You talking
chilling.
about the Giants game?
Yeah, it was the Giants and the A's.
You was watching that?
Yeah, I was watching that.
They must have felt it up here because a bunch of glass shattered downtown. in
Yeah.
buildings.
So I'm not even
You
budging.
weren't here?
I'm
No,
not
sir.
budging.
Yeah,
Next
I
thing I
felt it.
know, it don't stop
I
shaking.
remember.
I'm in the doorway. That shit still don't stop shaking, man. I ran up in the kitchen, got up under there like a little bitch. I was all up under the kitchen table. That shit was
Yeah,
crazy, man. It
that's
was
what you
tearing shit
supposed to
down.
do,
I
shit.
remember I was on the telephone. I was laying on my mom. It was hot that day. I remember I was laying on my mom's bed on the telephone, and I could hear shit. I could hear shit kind of shaking, and then I remember looking at my mom had this thing on the wall where she hung up like her necklaces and stuff, and the necklaces were just like swaying. So I went outside and got outside. You could see like leaves falling from the trees and shit. It was just like almost like a swaying feel. It wasn't like a big jolt or nothing here. It was just a swaying thing. Anyway, yeah, it's been on fire out here, bro.
Yeah, which is crazy as shit. But on the real topics, let's
Well, before
go ahead. Say what
You
you got to
got,
say before we go.
you got what's her name died? Charlotte Ray,
Who was that?
Mrs. Drummond.
Mrs. Garrett,
Or
nigga. Mrs. Drummond. It wasn't no Mrs. Drummond. She had
Drummond.
died. Remember?
I mean, yeah, there you go.
Mrs. Garrett died.
Different strokes.
So
Yeah,
the
oh,
only
Different
reason
Strokes. I'm like, damn. I'm thinking to myself.
Different
who
Strokes
is it?
and
Facts of
Facts of Life. Yeah.
Facts of Life was a spinoff.
The crazy thing about it though is that she just died at like 90 something,
Mrs. Drummond.
and the only motherfucker left, the only person left from Different Strokes is Todd Bridges.
And
Damn.
he was.
He's the
And he
only
was
one.
the motherfucker that was
Exactly.
the wildest.
He's the one that we thought
right?
probably would have died first,
Yeah.
Yep.
and he's the only one still alive out of Mr. Drummond, Arnold. What was Dana Plato's?
Kimberly. what's her name?
Kimberly, whoever her
like that.
name was,
Something
Kimberly, and
She
now
gone too.
Mrs. Garrett. They all in pass, and Todd Bridges the only one who been arrested for murder, been arrested for drugs.
Bruh, he was
And Bobby Brown
he was on
Jr.
it.
like a motherfucker.
He was on it. No, he was Bobby Brown.
Johnny Cochran got him out before OJ. He did it. He did him first.
He was Bobby Brown before he was Bobby Brown. He was doing his thing.
That
What?
nigga was selling crack and using crack.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They even got that on. They don't
Man, why
even
you
got
bring that
in
OJ shit
syndication,
up,
huh?
man?
Different strokes.
You hear me, Eric?
What's that?
Why you bring that OJ shit up?
Why I bring OJ shit up?
Yeah.
Wow, what happened with OJ?
I'm just thinking to myself when you brought him up, man. It just the whole OJ thing. I remember motherfuckers just tripping on that shit. And I was just like, when I was watching motherfuckers happy, I knew that black people were not happy
Tell
because
me
they
that.
thought he killed,
Time out.
because they didn't think he killed Nicole Cole.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we was happy because we was tired of motherfuckers getting rousted or set up by motherfuckers. But which was crazy, I was sad because I felt like that motherfucker had something to do with that shit. So I was like, why you bring that shit up, man? It's just a
Conflicted.
nasty feeling I have about that motherfucker, man.
So you're gonna say this? So this is before Chris Rock, before all that. You're gonna say that back then when they said not guilty, you were conflicted then.
I was happy.
Before Chris Rock and them ever brought it to the stage about, you know,
For your OJ check.
yeah, you already were conflicted.
I was happy. I was happy that he didn't get convicted on that bullshit evidence. Because I was watching, man, that shit was like a soap opera. We was watching that motherfucker every day. At work, we was finding ways to watch it. So Mark Furman and all the motherfuckers, you know what I mean? That shit was so shady. He was like, shit, you can't convict this motherfucker on this shit. But in the back of my mind, man, I'm gonna tell you already, I kind of knew that motherfucker I felt like he was guilty. I did, man. I ain't gonna lie. I felt like something was up with that motherfucker. He just too much evidence, and too much frame evidence too. So the shit was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, wow.
How'd you feel about it?
I felt that when they said not guilty, I felt like I guess the average black person. I thought just like Chris Rock said, I felt like we won something. I was all happy and shit. I don't know why. And then after that, after that goes away and things start settling, you're in denial for a while. This nigga in the bag of chips. Uh, you start kind of being in denial after a while because the evidence points like towards him being guilty, and you're like, nah. And whether they set him up or not, that nigga still, yeah, he guilty as hell.
That's what I think.
So I mean, I don't think I hung on as long as most people,
Hell yeah.
but I mean, I hung on for a little bit, him being not guilty, but that ain't guilty. And on top of that, I don't even count it as a victory for black folks. He set
Hell
black
no.
folks back.
Yeah, hell
You really
yeah.
need to chill on your celebrating before you find out
Yeah, that's
everything. And just like I was telling you about when we talking about some of these cases where black men are getting shot, and I think I said this with Tony. Black cats getting shot for pulling out cell phones and whatever else. Sometimes we really need to sit back and let stuff settle before we decide who we want to stand behind. And what I mean by that is, wrong is wrong. You shoot somebody that's unarmed and stuff. That's just wrong. But at the same time, we have to pick and choose who we send our black leaders, like whoever, like Al Sharpton, whatever that came down to Sacramento, to stand
Yeah,
behind.
that was crazy.
What was it, Stephon? What was it, Stephon
Stephon
Clark?
Clark
Yeah,
and
and then
Steve-
he's
yeah,
standing
whatever.
behind. Fucking, I'm gonna say it. I don't give a shit. Crazy ass family,
Yeah.
crazy ass brother. I bet you Al Sharpton won't be coming to Sacramento no time
I hope
soon.
not. Not with
After
that
that.
bullshit. Not with
Oh,
that.
he must
not
have
with
seen
brother
that news
acting like
footage
that.
and was like, "What the hell?"
Nah, he
is
was
going
here.
on?"
What you
I know,
talking
but
about?
I mean, after when he actually,
Yeah.
especially
So
when
it's like,
that guy was acting the way he did right in front.
yeah,
of him.
it's like, man, every time we have an injustice like that, a lot of times we choose the wrong cat to kind of stand behind. It's always a bad example. You know what I'm saying? It's always, instead of it being the innocent guy who gets shot down and and he's an innocent, father or member of society that's a positive influence. We always end up getting the, but he is a drug dealer, or he did get arrested 18 times for beating his wife, or he did, and I'm not saying that he deserves to be shot down, but those are the people that we seem like we always standing behind. A nigga that's always a little shisty to begin with, a little shaky to begin with.
Well,
When we know what happens to other people.
we
That's
we
not-
quick to judge. We're very quick to judge. You hear about this. What,
Well, we quick to support. That's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. Well, because it's happened so many times, you just assume, well, there it is, it's happened again, and which is wrong. Like you said, you need to really get all the evidence and get all the information, and then make your judgment. But we don't do that, and that's because society's like that, man. Come on, man. Society is something is said, immediately they just go with what's said. He said it first. That motherfucker gotta be right. And that's usually maybe not the case, or usually not the case. I want to say usually not the case until you get all the facts and the evidence, and then you find out, oh, I see why that shit happened, or you can see what happened. Shit is crazy, man. I mean, we got to do a better job of getting all the facts and then making our judgment, or then making our stand, or making our protests before we go out there and act a fool. Because there's some people who died. Yeah, I was right with them, man. Let's make the protesters do what needs to be done. And there's some people that died. I might have said that in the beginning, but after getting all the facts, I was dead wrong. So I mean, and that's horrible, bro. That's really bad.
I never was with them, with that protest with Seth. What was his name?
Stephon? No, Stephon's the brother, right?
Stephon Clark.
What's the
No, that's him.
Stephon Clark?
Yeah, I mean, I was down for protests, I guess, but the way they was doing by holding up traffic and all that shit, I mean, that affected me. I had tickets to a game, one of the second night.
Uh-huh.
Fucked up. I was able to get in, but it was hell getting in, and I had to go hella early to get there and shit. It's like you. I know what protest is about, but at the same time, you protesting and you hurting people who ain't got shit to do with. I mean, if you wanted to protest, go protest in front of the police station. Stop them motherfuckers from going home.
Well, it's funny.
Don't go out on the freeway. Stop people. You got people that's trying to get to their kids because they're at daycare, so now they paying extra money. God forbid there's somebody on the freeway that's like an emergency, a medical emergency, trying to get to the hospital, and you got that traffic backed up. You got motherfuckers that's got a boo boo. That's trying to get home.
You got the IBS.
Yes.
Yeah, that I feel real bad for
Boy,
that
hey,
motherfucker. He about to shit
Don't
on
have
himself.
me shit myself.
So yeah,
'Cause
so
you
all
mad.
that, you know what I'm saying? That shit.
You got all the time in the world to protest.
I'm
All I
saying,
need
you
to is
decide
make
to
it home.
protest.
Oh
I
God.
need to
Exactly,
let
man.
out some shit.
So I don't even know what we talking about. This happened so long ago.
It is
What
stupid.
else is going on?
But I do want to push on, but I just want to say this. I have a kid that, he came to work for me, and he stayed with me for years, and then he kept trying to be an officer. He finally became a cop, maybe last year, whatever it is. And he comes into the job, and he's talking about the Stephon Clark thing, right? He's talking about all the stuff that's going on, and we should wait and see the evidence and all this other stuff. And he's trying to explain to me what went on about, they couldn't see in the dark, and the dude kept running, and if he would have just stopped, it probably never would have happened, or blah, blah, blah. And, we get into these deep conversations, and then he break out and say, Kev, man, you've been knowing me for over 12 years, 13 years. He says, this is spur of the moment stuff. People are running away. He said, next thing you know, they turn. It's hard for me to tell what they got. I know I've been trained, but I'm trying to make it home.
Yeah, he
And
has,
I'm
the
thinking to
mentality
myself,
of a policeman.
Right. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This kid is right, man. I've been watching this kid for 13, whatever plus years come to work, right? And I've been instructing him to try to make his life better and do what he needs to do and blah, blah, blah. And I would hate for him to be shot because he's not sure. And he's thinking, well, Kev say, think about it first. And I'm telling him to think about it, then he turn around. While he thinking about it, he gets shot and he dies. So it's a hard job, bruh. And I don't even know what to say. I don't want to be no police. I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be in that job, but I'm hoping they can figure out a way to do a better job. In my case, I was thinking about it, fuck it, let him go. Shit, you could, if he breaking car windows, what's the big, okay, you'll get him. Eventually, he's a thief, you will get him later. Let him go. But he was like, we
I
had to
don't
do
know.
our job and try to get him. I was like, well, he
the
wasn't
whole-
actually the officer.
The
It's
whole
just
purpose
crazy.
of a policeman is law and order.
Yeah,
You break into my shit, I want you to go after them. Don't go waiting for them.
that's funny,
Go
Tony.
after them, motherfucker.
That's funny. That's funny to me because you ever call a motherfucker, told him somebody broke in your car? You ever call on the police station, 911 or whatever, and say, hey, man, somebody broke into my car? The motherfuckers be like, yeah, file a report.
We'll
They ain't trying to do no justice.
We'll have an officer come
Yeah,
down
we have
there.
no, they ain't gonna send the officer over here.
They're
You
gonna
file a
send the
report.
officer, it'd be like 3
So that
hours.
shit ain't about to happen. So this is the same shit I was thinking about that dude. Like Eric said, I'm gonna let it die. But it's just like, shit, he breaking into cars. Motherfucker, let the insurance take care of the shit. At this point, it ain't worth killing the dude over. So, I don't know. Let's push on, though, man. Let's push on, like you said.
So
Let's get into some good shit.
so we ain't pushing on, cause you reminded me of a story now. So
Go ahead and tell it.
So I remember, shit, when was this, man? This had to be like 90, telling my age, probably about 93, 94. Man, I don't even know what, I'm thinking maybe more 95. And my boy came to me, my boy Tyrone came at me and was like, hey, man, you want to earn some extra money? So I was like, yeah, man, I had just got out the Army and shit. I mean, I'd been out for a year or two, but I'm trying to think of the year, but I guess it's irrelevant what year. Anyway, so he was doing security, and we had this place called over on what is that, Tony? Is that Franklin? Gold Town? Remember Gold Town? That big ass like swap meet like store. At night they had like a event hall on top of it, right? And so they would do parties up there all the time, and he was security. So he said, man, it's easy money. He says, it's really easy for you because all you're going to do is walk the parking lot, right?
Top flight.
So, yeah, top flight security, Craig. So I'm thinking to myself, I'll do it, man. A little quick, easy money. And, I'm just walking the parking lot. So it's probably about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm walking the parking lot, and I got my my fake ass sheriff shirt on with the. It's got a badge on it and everything. It's like I look like a real cop.
Did you have a flashlight?
I don't even think I had a
Whistle.
flashlight.
Tell me you
Cause
had a whistle.
mind you, this is my first night. My first night. I'm gonna do
No
this.
flashlight?
I'm gonna do this for the whole. I'm gonna do this for as long as I want to because it's easy money and he's kind of in charge of it. He got one guy over him, but he's like the dude. He's a dude like second in charge. I was getting folks, and he had me and a couple other of our boys that would do it. So I'm walking the parking lot, bruh, and all of a sudden I get these. Now I don't know where my boy had went, but these where the party's at is upstairs. All of a sudden they come downstairs and like, you're security, right? Like, yeah, we need you upstairs. A fight broke out. So I'm like, I'm like,
yeah.
all right, well, I'm kind of, by this time, I'm kind of feeling myself because, I've been walking around for a good hour at least, and I ain't seen no action. My badge making me feel like I'm somebody important.
You got the badge.
I'm walking around with holding my belt buckle. I'm thinking I'm like
You top
I'm the rifleman walking through this motherfucker, right?
Walking tall.
Yeah.
I'm top flight
So
security,
I go
Greg.
upstairs. I go upstairs to stop the fight, and I get up there, and sure enough, I go in there, and it's it's a guy threatening to beat up a girl.
Oh Lord.
So I get up there, and I'm like, oh, this is easier than I thought. This is some punk ass dude trying to fight this girl. So I go up in there, and I'm like, hey. I was like, look, and I try to be cool about it because, I figure if I'm cool with the guy, he won't give me no problems and, and I can escort him on out. So I just tell him like this. I said, look, man, I don't know what's going on. You good?
I'm about to get another one.
You good? Because you reaching over me and shit and making all kind of noise.
I don't give a fuck. I'm about to get another
Okay,
one.
so then
Raw.
I tell the
Wrong uncut.
I tell the dude, I say, look, man, I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is, you got to take it outside. So if you're going to whoop her, I know it's a fucked up thing to say. But I'm like, if you're going to whoop her ass, you got to do it
Here we
somewhere.
go.
You got to do it somewhere else because you can't do it here. And he looks at me and he says, all right, man, it's cool, bro. My bad. We about to leave right now. And I didn't realize he had a boy with him. His boy was some big old dude, right? And the dude looks at me and we start
Go ahead.
walking out, right?
Look at squirrel.
So we walking out, bro, and I'm thinking I got this whole thing under control.
Mm-hmm.
And his homeboy, the big dude, walks up behind me and whispers in my ear. He says, "Don't make me shoot you."
Oh, I thought you about to get snuffed.
So the next day when I was turning in my shirt
Fuck.
and badge,
My drawers and everything.
nigga, I quit that job so quick. By the time we got downstairs, luckily my boys wherever they were, I think they were somewhere smoking weed or something. They came back and I was telling them what happened. They were like, who? They was all hyped. So I told them, old dude right there, and they couldn't wait to get a hold of the cat. And they grabbed both of the dudes and made them sit down on the curb, called police and shit. And then they told the cops what he told me. And one of them, Tyrone, had a gun. And he wasn't able, I think he wasn't licensed to carry, but he was licensed to have a gun. So at this point, that's when he went to the car and got his gun because the old dude said he had a gun. But anyway, I turned into the straight bitch, bro. I was like, he said this and he said that. And like I said, next morning I was I was supposed to be picking up my pay for the night. Shit, I showed up straight up with that shirt folded, a badge on top. I said, here you go, bro. And that just reminds me what you
Give him my
say.
socks, too.
That just reminds me what you said about, I don't want to be a police. I decided that night that, law enforcement wasn't my thing.
Mm-mm.
And that's funny because
Hey, that's a good story.
it's funny because
A gun and a whistle.
because
That's
a
totally
few
different.
months later, like I said, I had just got out the army, man. So I had put in for a bunch of jobs, and I was trying to get this job at youth authority, right?
Uh-huh.
So basically a correctional officer, but for the kids, for the youth.
Man, that's some bad fuckers. I don't know
So-
why you want to do that.
I was just trying to get a job, bro. I didn't give a
Hell
fuck what it
yeah.
was. I was trying to get paid. We got the
feel you.
army. You trying to think how you gonna buy a house and how you gonna do this, have a family, raise kids and shit. So I got out, man, and anyway, I had somebody who had my boy's sister had already went through the whole process. So she was telling me about when they're gonna send you in front of the board. She was telling me the questions, and then she was telling me what the right answers are because they're gonna give you situational questions, and you have to give them the right answers. So she had told me everything to say, and I never thought about none of it. I'm just like a robot. I'm memorizing the answers. So I had got past the test. I had got past the orientation. I'm sitting in front of the board, and they give me the situation, and this is when it hit me. They said, "So you're in the rec room, the TV room or whatever, and a fight breaks out." They said, "What do you do?" And the correct answer is that you don't break up the fight. You get everybody else in the rec room to one side and get them under control. Because what you don't want to do is be focusing on the fight while everybody else is going crazy in the rec room. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what you do is you get everybody else under control, let them fight. The two dudes fight until you get, help and whatever, and then they come in and they break up the fights and stuff. And at that point, that's when it hit me like, these questions ain't just questions. These is real life scenarios.
Shit happens, yeah.
Shit
And I
like
started
that
thinking
happen every
about,
day.
wait, what do I do? Nigga, I don't want to be there. Why am I in this? Why am I there?
I'm leaving.
I'm
That's
like,
what,
you-
that's what the fuck I do.
That's your job. I'm like, you know what? I never went back. They called me. I had the next next step was. I was about to be hired, and I never went back, bro.
Let me ask you this question, and this is based on the TV show I'm watching. I ain't gonna even tell you the TV show because I know one day we get into the shows. So I'm watching the show and shit, and two kids, let me back up. 4 kids are hanging out. Somebody comes up to him and says, "Man, can you instruct us where to buy some weed?" 2 kids is like, "Yeah, we can instruct you. Come on, man, we take you to go get the weed." They take the kid to go get the weed, and they end up stabbing him and killing him. But they rob him. They come back to their partners. There's at some apartment, chilling. They go in there, and I don't know if they tell them the details of what happened or whatever it is, but the next thing you know, they all on Facebook fanning out the money, right? Showing they got money.
Snitching on themselves.
Somehow, somebody figure it out, and they pick up the 2 kids that took the kid and killed him, right? But the other 2 kids,
Wait a minute, you lost me.
I'm lost.
okay, let me back up. Let me back up for a second. 4 kids hanging out.
Right.
Somebody comes up and wants to buy weed. 2 of the kids take them to go buy the weed.
Right.
When they take them to buy the weed, they rob them, stab them, kill them.
Right.
They go back and hang out with the 2 kids that they was hanging out initially with,
Right.
right? And they sort of tell them the deal or don't tell them the deal. I'm not clear on that part. But then they get on Facebook with all the money they got, right? Fanning it out, showing them, "Oh, we got paper. Somehow, the police catch wind of that, right? And they go pick up the 2 kids that witnesses saw with the kid that they killed, right?
Yeah.
Now, they go to jail and basically kind of snitch out the other kids that they was hanging out with those kids, and they go on Facebook, put the time frame together and everything, and pick up all 4 kids, right? Now they got all 4 kids in jail. Now, they trying to convict them all of murder. Do you think that's right for them to convict all 4 of those kids of murder? Now, 2 of them killed them, but the other 2 hung out. Do you think that's right?
That's got to be. It depends.
What depends? They wasn't with them.
Yeah, but they know what they did, right?
I don't know. That's what part I'm not sure about.
That's the thing.
They
gotta-
denied that they knew.
But see,
they said
remember
they
though,
didn't know.
if they all get picked up and nobody rats on nobody,
There'll be some
they're
ratting.
they're assuming that everybody in conspiracy.
Okay.
Just like say somebody went and did a crime, and then somebody died. But you're the you're the
You're an accessory.
yeah. So you're hanging with the dude.
Okay.
You're an accessory. You did it, but somebody died. You, who didn't do anything, say you the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody died in the midst of a crime that you was involved in. You're getting pinned with that murder too.
Okay. So let's stop
Well,
for a
once-
second.
Hang on.
Go ahead, Eric. Make your
So-
thing down. Come back to you. Come back.
So, it just so happened that Damn, I just got all the answers tonight, huh?
Well, be the man. Shit, be
guess.
the man. Go on, be the
Well,
man.
no, I'm just saying. I don't know. I know Tone. You probably remember. Remember when I was on jury duty, right?
Yeah.
I was on jury duty for 5 weeks, and that was what happened. So anyway, there was what happened with this guy was that it was that they made a plan to rob the dope man, which happened to be a cat that they knew. So they go rob the dope man, and so according to the dude that I was in charge on trial, I was part of the jury for it because each person had their own jury. It's kind of crazy how they did it.
Yeah. Well, they
They
wanted
got
individual
tried separately.
trials. So they
Yeah,
tried
so-
separately. Yeah.
So the dude that I was, what I was being a jury for, he didn't do the shooting, and he claims that it was never meant to go down like that. They were just supposed to rob the guy or whatever, and that was it. But he didn't do the shooting, and it was, I think that even through the trial, it was proven that he didn't do the shooting. He never had nothing to do with the shooting, but he was part of the robbery, right?
Yeah.
And so-
it's basically because they plan to rob him, that happened, so he becomes an accessory, right?
So what happens is, which, I figured he was guilty, right? The problem is that when we went back to, what do you call it? We can go back to talk about the when the jury-
Deliberation.
deliberation. What is it? Is it liberation? What is it?
Deliberation.
Oh, deliberation. So when we went back to talk about it and stuff, the problem is that we all agreed that he was guilty, but he was being charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah.
So
Which is
that
what-
was so that was the problem we had. So we had to have the lawyers come back in and talk to us and tell us, what was the rule, because we wanted him to be guilty, but we didn't want to hit him with first-degree murder. And I don't know if it's the same in every state, but here in California, they said that there was no in between. That he's either guilty, he has to be either guilty of first-degree murder, or he's innocent. He wasn't on trial for us to decide at what degree he was guilty of.
So there was
So there was no manslaughter or
No, that wasn't even an option.
So the prosecutor he is charged with first degree
He
murder, not
yes.
first degree murder, robbery, conspiracy, or
No.
nothing like that, or premeditated.
First-degree murder. Now,
Okay,
I don't know.
that's what you're going
In
to trial
hindsight, I think that maybe if we would have said not guilty, maybe they would have brought him on some other charges. Maybe then they go into the other charges.
for. Right.
But that's not the way it was explained to us. It was explained to us either first-degree murder or nothing. And it was kind of fucked up, but the way we seen it is he helped plan, he helped rob,
Premeditated.
him they hid shit afterwards, they lied about shit afterwards, because it was actually him and his girl, but he's taking the blunt of it because I don't think he wanted his girl to be involved in it. But it was like the whole story was like he was guilty of everything but actually pulling the trigger. So at that
Yeah.
point we was like, man, gotta give him first degree. So he got first degree. I mean, I don't know if he appealed after that. I don't know what happened after that, but he got first degree murder. And I still think about it to this day, whether it was the right decision or not. But the way it was explained to us, they made it seem like we basically didn't have a choice. He was
Yeah,
either not
choice.
guilty or guilty. And the nigga was guilty.
You know
Yeah,
what?
he's
You know,
guilty of
that's-
premeditated robbery and all that.
Yeah.
but
yeah,
he-
he's
And-
not
and-
guilty of first degree
he was a
murder. in my
co-defendant.
eyes.
But you got to so that's what I'm saying.
he's a code D.
That's what I'm saying. You say he's not guilty of first degree murder, but
No.
what I'm saying is that first of all, that's if you believe what he's saying, that they never planned on
True.
they never planned on killing the guy.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to a feeling, no doubt about it.
So, but my thing was, and I know it's a fucked up way to think, or maybe people agree with me. I'm sure there's some people that agree with me out there, but there's consequences to everything you do.
Yeah,
And when you're making them type of decisions, think about it. You're thinking about, before we even get to robbing the dope man, you're hanging out with the folks that's, dope period. We dealing in dope.
yeah,
Now we're gonna rob the dope man.
yeah.
We carrying guns. We talking about how we gonna do this, how we gonna do that. We gonna sneak over there. They came into his garage. They shot. I mean, they shot this dude while his wife and kid was inside the house. They shot him in the garage, stole his stuff, and left. And I mean, when you hear the whole story, it's kind of like, okay, even if you didn't pull the trigger, you know what? Your choices killed that father, killed somebody's son, killed that husband.
Right.
Can I ask you this question?
What's up?
Did you ask for an explanation of first degree murder?
I'm sure. You know what? I don't remember. I mean, I know for a fact I didn't, but I think it was explained to us a few times because, like I say, the prosecutor made sure that he came back a few times and told us exactly what we were in for.
Okay.
It was just it was one of them things where we felt like we either got to let him go.
A non-guilty verdict.
Well,
In a non-guilty verdict, because you can't remember. What is it, double jeopardy, whatever? You can't
you
be
can't go
tried.
back. Yeah, can't be
so
tried
once
second.
Yeah.
once you say not guilty,
Can't be tried again.
he can't
for
be
the
tried
same
again
crime.
for it. So
Well,
the best bet, even if you think that he was involved in something, if you're guilty, the best case scenario as far as the law side of it is that he might not be guilty of first degree murder, but that's something he's gonna have to what do you call it?
yeah, it's got to deal with.
No. What I'm saying is he got to appeal.
Yeah. Well,
can
you know,
It's
appeal.
appeal, but you don't let the motherfucker go.
But that takes so long.
Well,
He's
yeah,
only gonna be
But
locked
he's
up
out.
for it.
But either way, he needs to be locked up anyway
yeah, but what's
because he
interesting to
should be
me
locked
is that,
up anyway. Now he can fight for how much time he does.
yeah. What's
But he
interesting
needs
to
to
me
be
The
is
locked up.
sentencing.
they
Yeah.
didn't charge him with nothing but just that one count, just first degree murder. That's it.
Prosecutors, man.
No, nothing else. No robbery, no this, no that, no
Cal-
kidnapping, none of that.
No, he wasn't no kidnapping involved.
No,
It was
California is a
it was
person
first-degree murder.
dies during
a robbery,
a
and
robbery
stuff.
or
That's
any kind of
first-degree
thing.
murder.
Yeah.
For example, this is how it works. Two cats go into AMPM and do a beer run. That's theft, right? Could be petty thefts, no problem, nothing. And then all of a sudden,
Is your wife cooking?
and just, I smell something, runs out. And there's an example. Two guys runs out, knocks down an old lady. Lady falls down,
Kills her.
bops her head, gone.
First degree.
Murder. Over petty.
I don't know if it's first degree,
Okay.
but it's murder.
Okay.
But it's murder, first degree, because somebody died in
I
in
look
a
at it
crime.
as why you were
Okay.
doing stupid shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me say this then. Okay, unfortunately, shit, bad past. A lot of bad people. There ain't nobody that I've ever met that went to jail only got charged with one thing. A motherfucker could come in here, go into the store, and steal some now laters. It's gonna be armed robbery, kidnapping, motherfucking taking such. They throw every charge they can at you. Make that shit 160 years
So-
for you
It's gotta
settle for
stick.
30.
Okay, but
Something's gotta stick.
But so-
yeah,
so-
something's got to stick.
so this guy
now all of a
was-
sudden it's just one charge.
This guy
That's
got one
crazy.
charge,
That's crazy.
and maybe the reason why he got one charge is because there was 5 different people that was involved in this robbery.
oh, the rest of them got something.
so
different.
they had every
Oh, okay.
person.
Oh, okay.
So this guy was charged with robbery, and he was in the story. He seemed like the person that was involved the least, but he was still involved in every piece of it. So I don't know. You know what the
Yeah.
thing was is that when we were the jury for the thing, it wasn't even like for instance, we'll take robbery for instance, right? He's admitting to robbery. He's not saying he was never there, didn't do none of it. He's saying we robbed. Matter of fact, half of the facts about the planning, the hotel room they were at before they went there that they went to and planned everything out. He's telling all that. He's saying that he's involved in it. The only part that he's denying is saying that he killed him, and he didn't think, and he said that they were never supposed to kill him.
He's probably
But
hoping for a lesser
Okay,
charge.
I think I got what happened. He admitted to all those other charges.
Yeah, so
Basically, so
he
that
might have
means-
been
yeah.
charged all that stuff, but that's not what he was on trial for.
Right. He was just
He's
saying,
already
I didn't
admitted.
murder anybody. So that's the point
Yeah.
they had to fight.
No,
him
the
with.
prosecutors want that.
So now we want to
Murder
get now they
one
want murder on him
stick.
too.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, him and the actual shooter want that to stick.
Anyway,
So
But-
back to my question.
Damn,
The 4
that nigga's
kids.
going back to it.
Good, boy. It's
Back to the 4 kids.
hell ain't long with this motherfucker.
Do you think
Chung, chung, chung.
those 2 kids who were not there, if they knew or didn't knew, I know this.
they
kept
knew or
saying-
didn't knew.
I'm saying that if
That
they
nigga
knew
said
or
they
didn't
knew
know, I
or
don't know.
didn't knew.
Damn,
But I
knew?
know that they kept saying they did not know. They did not know what happened.
Okay, say
The
they did
only
not
thing
know.
the kid said he knew was at one point after he had been in interrogation for over a couple of days, he said, yeah, they were going to get that money. I knew they was going to get that money. That's what he said.
Oh, that.
So what are you asking?
So, do you think on that statement, should he be on trial for murder? Because he said they was going to get that money. I knew they were going to get that money.
So
Is it one of the 2 kids that wasn't involved?
One
They
of
were
the 2
just
kids that
hanging
was
out
not
after him?
involved,
he's
they
saying
did
the
not
2
murder.
kids that supposedly didn't know.
2
My
kids claimed they
thing-
did
okay,
not
so-
know, but one of the
so-
kids out of the 2 said that statement.
So this is unfortunately this is where I believe. I believe that it's possible. You know what? I don't believe that it's possible. I believe that they knew what happened because I think about my own situation and I think about the cats that I hung out with, and even though I might not have been the baddest dude in the gang, in the clique, we had cats in there that was that did dirt, and when they came around, we knew what they were about. If they had did some dirt, we knew about the dirt. If they were bragging about, with money or whatever else, in our time it was cars. A lot of motherfuckers were stealing cars and stuff. That's what we got in trouble for a lot. And so when he came back around with, talking about different cars or rims or stereos or whatever like that, we knew what it was. So, yeah, I might not be guilty of stealing, but because I knew who he was, and I still decided to hang. And at this time and day, with the Facebook and all that stuff, stupid enough to post shit and flaunt the money around. What I'm saying is they might not be guilty of, was it murder with them?
It was murder. Yeah,
Okay,
the kid
murder
got
with
killed.
them. But unfortunately, and this is what I want to stick, because this is the only way you can teach lessons to kids and stuff. I mean, because of something like that, that's the reason why I can turn around and tell my kids, this is why you don't hang with certain people, or this is why you don't get involved. Because those 2 dudes, if we take them for their word, they were innocent. They still chose to do some stupid shit like flaunt with a bunch of money on Facebook and act. And I guarantee you, there's no way in the world that they don't know that them dudes are involved in some shiesty shit. Whether
Okay.
they know it's murder or not, they know those guys are involved in shiesty shit. We ain't never hung around a dope dealer that we didn't know was a dope dealer.
And you trying
Okay.
to tell me they didn't brag about where that money came from?
All right.
So you already know that
I'm
shit.
hit you with a little bit more information. First, I want to ask Eric a question, though.
Oh, here we go.
Here's a question to Eric. If the police would have came when you was hanging out with your partners who had
Yes.
just stole the car, grabbed you and those 2 dudes and plus another dude, and you had nothing to do stealing the car, and they told you they about to put you in jail for 20 years because you were still in the car,
It happened
would
to
you
me.
feel the same?
It happened to me already.
Would you feel the same, knowing that you didn't steal no car?
They gotta prove it though.
Okay, so,
Nah, Eric said we're talking about guilty by association.
but it's happened to me. Now, I wasn't the person that they decided they were going to arrest. They arrested my boy Dre. But what I'm saying is that we all were kind of involved. I didn't do the stealing. I knew all about it. I rode with him. Yeah, I did the joyriding with him and stuff. And
So should you be in there for 20 years? It's a question.
well,
You
it's not.
joyride.
It's,
If
okay,
they
so
got you.
okay,
Now
so
they got you. Let's say they got you. You was in the car. They can prove you was in the car. Should
okay,
you
but
get 20 years?
I think where we differ in that is that is that is that I don't. It's not about. To me, it's not about what the punishment is going to be. To me, it's about I chose knowing better. I was raised better. I know better to be involved in that shit. So once I say that, I choose to be a part of it,
Yeah.
and I choose to be and I know that this is against the law,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter what the actual consequences are for it. I know there's consequences for it. So I can either be involved in it and be lucky and get a light sentence and learn my lesson,
Mhm.
or unfortunately I can be that person they make an example out of, and worst comes to worst, I get life. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I get life. But the problem is that, I mean, the not the problem, but the main point of it is that I knew that when I got involved with these cats. I know that there's a possibility that I can go to jail. Just like when you get in the car with like I say, I know our shit sounds old because we old guys, but if you get in the car with a dope dealer and you know there's a possibility that he got dope, or you know what?
He's
Or
gonna have dope.
Or we
Yeah,
do it to
most likely.
something. We'll do it to something even more common in our time. Drinking and
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
When we get in the car with a bottle, or we've been drinking and wherever we at, and we decide to drive, we know that there's 2 or 3 levels to that. It could be we get pulled over, get a ticket, get pulled over, get arrested, or it could be that we kill somebody because
Yeah.
we've been drinking too much.
drinking.
And we also know that we could get let go, a ticket, or we can get took to jail and held in jail. But the thing is I can't say after the fact, after I'm caught, I can't sit there and say, well, you know what, that's a little harsh of a penalty. Because I knew what
Yeah,
the possibilities
not
were from the
this-
get-go. You know that. So once you decide, you have no control over what the penalties are.
I don't know
Because
if I,
don't
I don't
do
know if
it.
I can. I don't know if I can say that's the same to me because
Don't
if,
do
if,
it.
If Tony's doing the driving and he hits the person in the car, he hits somebody, and me and Tony in the car, I'm not going to jail for manslaughter. Tony is.
But you a part of
But
it
we
though.
both in the car drunk.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why not?
No, I'm not
Okay,
going to
so-
jail.
so
you going to jail
So
No,
for the-
you might go to jail too.
for being drunk in the car with Tony?
Yes.
No.
Man, there's people who went to jail. I know for a fact. You know what? I wish.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that one up.
Man, you are out your mind if you don't think that there's been a whole car full of people that went to jail
but
because everybody in there was drunk and they hit somebody.
But you know what
it's
though,
usually
Kev?
the driver.
Kev, for those four.
Yeah, the driver's going, but I'm sorry, Tone.
All right.
But there is people in that car that can be held responsible too, because we all got in that car. Now, I'm not gonna say it happens all the time like that, but I know there's cases like that. I remember on Florin Road, it happened. I'm trying to think who it was, and there was 2 people in the car, and they both went to jail for one was for manslaughter. I think they both were for manslaughter or whatever, but for
Yeah.
drinking and vehicular manslaughter,
Homicide or something like that.
some shit.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember that shit.
Instagram, hit us with that one, man. Let me know.
I
gotta
know
find
but-
the
Instagram.
details.
I'm
but you
telling
know
you.
No,
what?
I need to know.
Kev-
I'm gonna look up some details. I'm gonna look on my own.
Check
Tom,
this
go
out.
ahead.
Okay, so
give me
check this out.
Give me yours.
For those for those 4 kids, right?
Yeah.
I think they got in trouble and involved with it. It'd be the same way as like Eric's boys. So Eric has a boy. He just did a GTA, right? He pulls up to Eric. And he goes, "Hey." Eric goes, "Hey, nice ride, bruh."
Yeah,
And
this
then over
motherfucker clean, nigga.
that shit clean. That's old DeVille. And he goes, and Eric goes, "Yo, is this hot?" And he goes, and the guy goes, just looks at Eric and goes, and Eric gets in the car.
Once
He
I
takes
jump,
off.
what Tony just said, once I jump in that car, once I decide to get in
He
that
is
car,
involved.
I'm responsible for whatever consequences that come, because I knew better. Just like them guys was posing with the shit, they know better,
They
bruh.
knew better, right? So when
all
that
right.
guy gets pulled over and they find out you're locked up, they all guns. Obviously GTA, guns are pulled. Eric gets out of the car.
What was the statement you made to me earlier about knowing all the facts before you make a judgment? You remember that statement?
No.
You don't remember that earlier?
But
we was
I've
talking
heard that
about
statement
know-
before. I
knowing
don't
all the facts
disagree.
before?
I don't disagree with it. So
All right,
what are
let
you saying?
me
What's your
enlighten you a
point?
little bit more information. I said I would. One,
You ain't give
two
us any
kids,
information.
the
Nigga,
two
the fuck?
kids, the two kids, they were at their own apartment, their own place, their own home. Those kids came back to their home.
Right.
Two, both of the kids, scholarship players, getting hella money from the school, football players making hella dough,
Okay.
right? They got money. They flossing money because they got money, right? So, the whole story is nobody ever tells them they went and robbed somebody. They said they're going over to go kick it with the dude, get him some weed, and come back. They asked him what happened. He said, yo, we got him some weed, he good. And then they start doing their little thing. Football players, you know, we making that money at the college, woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
See, that's bullshit. Because
That's
I don't
crazy,
believe it.
right?
I just don't believe it.
There's always two
Nah.
sides of the story.
I'm just
and I
going
need
to
the
my.
truth.
I'm just going
I
by
need the
my.
truth.
I'm going by my
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. So I
you know
think-
what?
I think Eric might be
No,
right
no,
in
no.
one sense. They might have knew something.
I'm going by
I think
my.
they knew something.
I'm going by my experience, and my experience is that I've dealt with a lot of cats that's doing wrong shit,
Yeah.
and every single one of them cats that's did wrong shit ain't never ever put me in a position, that I know of, knock on wood, where I don't know exactly what's going on. I've never, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to make just to make a big exaggeration,
Mhm.
I've never jumped in a car with a dead body in the trunk and you don't know it.
You smell
They,
something.
they make it clear. They make it clear, and if they don't make it clear, you know
Yeah,
who you dealing with.
And hey, Eric,
I
I'm
know
with you.
every
I-
drug dealer that I dealt with, I knew was a drug dealer.
Yeah, no
every
doubt.
motherfucker that I
You
know
know
have
who they were.
everybody I
Me,
know
same
who
thing. I
have
knew-
bodies who we thought was shooters. We knew that before
Yeah.
we ever decided
and you
to
didn't
do
fuck
anything
with
them.
You stayed away
So-
from them. You knew better.
So once you get in that car,
You're
just like
involved.
so even if somebody comes over your house with the weed and we like, oh yeah, all this money and stuff, it's like you know what they're about. So once you start flossing, I'm not saying that you should get first degree murder, but
But
what
you
I
sh-
am
yeah.
saying is you're guilty
Of something.
of
I think the
just
punishment
from-
should fit the
of-
crime.
of being stupid.
Yeah, I think the punishment should fit the crime.
It all
So
depends
whatever
on that.
their crime was, whatever their crime was,
But
in this case,
it-
you know about it or you didn't report it or whatever it is.
That's
yeah,
what the DA's gonna get.
And that
that's
goes
what
back-
it should be.
and that- but
I
that
don't
goes
think
back
they
to-
they should be getting first.
But that
degree murder
goes back to
charges.
what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're right. What you just said is right. The punishment should fit the crime. But unfortunately, you're not in charge
Nope.
of what the punishment is. Once you decide that this is what you decide to do, then you know what? You got to sit back and take the punishment. Whether it's right or not, you can you appeal, you do whatever you got to do later. But right now, because you were stupid, because
Yeah.
you decided to make that decision, now you have to deal with the consequences. And the only thing I can say to you when I'm looking at you and feeling bad for you is like, nigga, you shouldn't have did it.
Right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
I raised you better than that, or
Oh, that's
you
what
were
the dad was
raised
saying.
better than that.
That's what the dad was saying, no doubt.
And
Of
I know,
course.
and so the other thing I was gonna say, I don't want to go into it, but because that's a whole nother topic. But you must be talking about Last Chance U.
No doubt. That's what I'm
No,
talking
so them cats, when you're talking about they making all that money and stuff, they not.
No, you know, it was like
Because we
$1,600.
talk about-
to them
because
it's
we-
big money, $1,600 a month.
Because
They
we
ain't
talk
getting no
about
money,
we
that's
talking about college kids on scholarships and
yeah. To them,
what they
was
get
nothing.
is a whole nother topic.
Even better, even better than that, they should know they should not be taking any
Even that
risks
much-
to ruin
but
anything.
exactly.
Yeah,
You know what,
it's
Tone?
$200.
You
The
right,
good
Tone,
part- the good
Tone,
part, one
you
of
know
them got
what?
out.
You just
One of
made
them
me
got
think,
free. One of
you
them
just
got
made me
free.
think
What's
about
wrong with
something else too. Even more so, they shouldn't be in that position because they are scholarship athletes that know they can't mess around with weed.
Can't
That
fuck
are
with
all them damn.
none
So
of
that's
that
even
shit.
Yeah.
more reason why they deserve to be punished because you actually get an opportunity that a lot of people don't get, and you decide to go fuck around with some weed, or better yet, fuck around with cats that ain't doing nothing with their life.
You know, you're. I have to agree with you 100%. Right. I want to bring the topic up because I thought it was a really good topic. When I was watching the show,
no more
I was
topics
thinking
like
I was thinking to myself, you some stupid ass kids. That's the first thing I was thinking to myself. You know, I want to argue for you. I want to fight for you kids, but you're stupid. Because you got all these things. Your life is headed for you. You're going in the right direction. You knew you had to get out of the ghetto. You were staying away from all that bullshit. And you know when people like that come through or come by, you gotta say to yourself, I can't be caught up with this shit. I gotta stay away from this shit. So
Man, you know what it is?
I agree with you on
You know,
that.
Kev?
But I just felt like, damn, that's a harsh charge.
It's
Go
the
ahead, Tom.
social
Go ahead,
media.
Tom.
It has
It's the
nothing to do
social
with that.
It's the
media.
social media.
It's the
Yeah.
social media. They want their lives to be popping.
Yeah.
No.
And
Your life would be a whole lot better popping when
And-
you
and I
finish-
know from. Go ahead. I'm going to Tom. Go. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
When you finish what you need to do,
Oh yeah,
and
no
then
doubt.
you go pro.
Exactly.
And when
Oh,
you
yeah.
go pro, your life is popping. Don't worry about what the fuck. $200. I'm gonna blow my
The
scholarship
boy-
for $200
And
fucking dollars.
check it out before you
Go
say
ahead.
that. And Kat, and I know from experience that when you're raising a kid that gets that scholarship or gets or is trying to get a scholarship, athletic scholarship or whatever type of scholarship, was it academic or whatever, you're living a certain kind of way. Your how you say it, your work ethic is different because you're about, if it's athletic, you're about, it's always academically, but then on the other end, you're training. There's a lot of stuff that you're not doing because that you can't do because you're on this path trying to get this scholarship. So like I say, it's not like these kids don't know.
Yeah.
That's why when I hear them stories about like kids who fuck up in college that are athletes on scholarship, sometimes I wonder because some of them I will say that they've had the world given to them, so they're so used to being told yes that they don't understand no. But on the other hand, you have a lot of them, bruh, that's giving up a lot
Yeah.
to get to, and I know from experience that they know better because
Yeah.
they, in order to get to where they've got so far, especially when you're talking about like a Division I school, that much money we talking about in scholarships, what tuition is and stuff like that. They're really on a path that they know better because their whole life, this is for most of their life, that's what they've been trying to get there. So when they fuck up, it's like, okay, I give you the fuck up because you're a kid. But at the same time, I don't want to hear that they don't know any better because
No.
they've been taught their whole life that this is what you got to do to get this and get that, and sometimes unfortunately they forget the path or they forget the work that they did to get there. So
This is my advice to this is my advice to
he's trying to open his can
to
quietly.
parents to parents that have kids that are growing up in that environment. And you know the environment I'm talking about. I grew up in it a little bit. I mean, I was lucky enough my parents stayed together, and they're pretty smart people and told me
That
to
nigga
do
got
my
a hairy
thing.
ass back.
Here's my thing.
Get out of here.
If your kids are lucky enough to get out of that, the trap, get out of it. Don't let them come back. Don't let them
That's
come
your
back.
advice?
My advice is don't let them come back.
You gotta be no genius to figure
No,
that out.
I'm just saying, don't let them come back because they are people in the trap. You know this. If you out, they want to send you back in here with us. Come on, we gonna get you back into life. Come on back in here. We gonna get you back
Since you
to what was
mentioned-
going on.
Since you mentioned trap,
Now, let me say this next thing. And then my next thing is this. And this is to all kids. All kids. It doesn't matter what color you are. If you ever get taken to jail, don't say shit without a lawyer. Not one fucking thing. Nothing.
stating the obvious. What
No-
are we
Well,
talking about?
obvious is not the obvious, Eric, because these dumb motherfuckers is talking to
But
the
why
police
are
without a
you-
lawyer.
Actually, if they're
So what the
juveniles,
fuck
they
is
don't
wrong
talk
with
without
them?
their parents being there and a lawyer.
They're
so.
not juveniles. They're college students.
No, they ain't grown up. You out.
What's wrong with these kids? What's wrong with these people of talking to people without a
Scared.
lawyer?
Their
But
first
you
involvement
still-
with
you still
police.
stating the obvious.
They
We
scared.
gotta keep reminding parents to tell their kids don't
Yeah.
say shit.
Let me find you.
First
out
of all,
for 48
first of
hours.
all, I don't know. Y'all skipped a whole. Kevin skipped a whole stage there because he
I just
says
gonna
we
say.
got to teach our kids not to speak. My kid better not be at the police station.
That's true.
to begin with.
Eric,
Flip.
man.
I'm telling my child to flip.
Eric, okay, Eric, come on. This
Shit,
situation's
I'm
happened.
telling you now.
Some
Better
shit
flip on
happened.
them.
Some shit happened down there at the party. Next thing you know, police got all y'all rounded up, and y'all sitting in there, and they asking your kids questions.
Flip.
You should be telling your kids don't say shit, because you don't want the police trying to make your kid the witness for some shit that's going on.
Okay, when you tell your kid that, I'm telling my
I always
kids,
tell my kids
you
to
better
let
tell
shit.
that man what the fuck he want to know.
No, we don't talk without a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm not raising no boy. I got girls.
I
I tell
got
my
you.
girls,
That's
I
it.
tell my girls, you
Flip.
better tell them what they need to know and
Fuck
call me to
that.
come pick you up.
Fuck that. You don't say shit without a lawyer.
That's true. Don't say nothing. But you're an adult.
But
Don't
that's
say
guilt.
nothing
That's for
without no
guilty
order.
motherfuckers.
It's not
Right.
guilty.
It is.
Eric, man, they put a lot of innocent motherfuckers in jail because
tell
they
you what,
opened
I
their
tell you
mouth
what, I
and
tell you
said
what.
something without a lawyer. A lawyer,
Don't
you gonna
be-
tell the truth once the lawyer get there.
don't be
but
the
you don't
per-
say nothing without the lawyer.
Don't be the person that's involved to where the cops need to bring you in.
See, this brings
Tony,
us.
you don't
know
gotta
what?
be. You gotta be involved.
We didn't-
If something happened,
You know what?
if
I
something
see where this is
happened-
going
if-
tonight, so we
if
just
I
go ahead
sh-
and keep
if
it
I
going
shoot, If I shoot somebody and you're a witness,
See, but
and you come in and you start telling them what happened,
you're talking about the extreme, bro.
man,
You're talking about the
Tone,
extreme,
yeah,
Tone.
But you did it. You
Tone,
did
check it out. But the thing, I mean, Kev, you're talking about the extreme. The thing is
the
that
extreme.
the thing about the you are talking about the extreme. You're talking about if I
just
shoot
fuck it,
somebody.
I don't care. I don't.
My
care.
thing
Just
is,
don't do
my
it.
thing is, this is what makes me mad about situations like that. Is either this is it's one out of two things, Tone. Either you grew up in, I don't know, fucking the Bronx in the 80s or whatever, you
Yes.
or Compton or wherever you grew up at that's
Right.
tough, and that makes you that makes you think like that. Or you've been watching too many movies and you think that's the way it is. Because in real life, I just explained to you the type of trouble that I got into when I was a kid, right? And in real life, knock on wood, I have never been in a situation where I need to be quiet, I need to not talk, the police was framing me for some shit. It's always been every time I've ever dealt with the police, and I can say, maybe I'm just that lucky. I've never had the situation where, and we've had this conversation before, I never had the situation where I felt like I was being done dirty and I need to be
Target.
quiet. The cops have always, and I know this ain't the popular thing to say, but my experience with the cops has never been anything other than I don't know what the right word is, cordial.
Positive?
Not unless I was doing some shit. And
Oh,
I've been
yeah, smart
and,
ass.
Okay.
and then when I think back to it, they might have had an attitude with me, but think what I was doing or think where I was at. I was hanging out in front of 29th Street Apartments.
Eric.
Yeah, I wasn't selling dope, but the two niggas next to me was. Or, yeah, I wasn't still in the car, but somebody else was. Or I was always involved in this shit whenever I had some kind of negative thing. So my thing is what I teach my kids, because I only teach them by experience,
Right.
is that
No doubt.
in one thing I know is, and maybe it's different with girls, is I teach them to respect. First of all, I teach them respect all elders. But when a policeman asks you something, you tell the policeman
Yeah.
what it is you're doing, what it is you know. Because first of all, I'm speaking from. See, you laughing.
I'm laughing. I'm
But let
very
me
much
finish. Let me
laughing.
finish.
laughing.
I'm speaking from a place that I'm taking for granted, and I'm willing to put money on it that my kids aren't going to be. My daughter's not going to be in a situation where if she tells the truth, it's going to put her in a bad situation. Now, if that was
I
me,
didn't say-
hang
I
on,
didn't
let me
say don't
finish.
tell
Let
the
me
truth.
finish.
I didn't
Let me
say don't
finish,
tell the
Kev.
truth.
If it was me and the stuff that I did, yeah, maybe I need to shut the fuck up because I'm guilty by association with a lot of people. Now, if I don't know no better and my kids are out there hanging with people that are the same type of people that I was hanging with, or that are people that are bad, then then what your advice is true. Don't say nothing. Get you a lawyer. But I'm thinking of my kids and what I know of them and who they hang around with. And if they're in any type of situation, they need to tell the police what they need to be told. And you need to tell the police that I need to call my parents and let me get up to the way you at.
Right. It gets a whole
Okay.
lot more complicated.
Now, like I
once-
say, it's a
once
lot
you
different.
start getting a little bit crazy.
Let-
When you start getting
You
mouthy.
start talking about shooting and all that shit.
No,
That's
yeah.
different.
That's not what I want to say.
well, you would hope your kids don't
What-
even get involved in that type of bullshit.
What I want to say is this, and I don't even know how to say it. I guess I should just say it the way I was gonna say it.
Say it the way you're gonna say it.
Well, I'll say the way I was going to say it, which is this. And I guess maybe it's just not white people. Maybe let's just call it educated people. Educated people are very wise to tell you in their books, in their monologues, in their shows, in whatever it is. They going to tell you this is how it's got to be. And one thing they tell you is you do not speak to the police without an attorney. Why do white people say that? It's because you don't
Because
want
they can afford
anything,
You know what? Like I said, it goes back to, like I said, movies.
Anything that
He's
they say,
watched
no,
too
no,
many
not
movies.
movies. See, this is what people reading the book is very
Do
important.
you really think?
Read books?
Do you really
read?
think? Okay, okay. What you read?
And they will tell you. They will tell you in those books.
I want you to answer this question. I want you to answer this question.
That's why I read.
I want you to answer this question. I want you to answer it before you give the answer to it. Think about it.
I'm gonna turn my back to the mic so I can hear the question and think about it.
Whatever you need to do. I want you to think about it before you answer. Even though you read and you see in movies and everywhere else that get a lawyer, don't speak. Do you really think the percentage of people who are in trouble with the police, knowing that lawyers cost what they cost, knowing that whatever that complication that lawyers bring to it, and I want you to think about what I'm saying. I'm not saying what's right. I'm asking you, what do you think people do for the majority? Do you really think that the majority of people, when they're getting in trouble, I mean, you've seen cops, you've seen the dumb people that's getting in trouble. Not only do you see cops, you don't even have to go that far. You know people who get arrested. Do you think the majority of them are saying, yeah, I'm not saying nothing. I want a lawyer?
Oh, can I chime in?
Go ahead.
No, answer the question first for
Okay,
Tony
go
chimes
ahead.
in.
No, I think the majority of them are speaking on tape and not knowingly putting themselves in the middle of a situation that if they would have shut their fucking mouth and got even a
Okay,
public defender
I know you
before
wanna
they
chime
said
in, Tony.
anything, they would be better off.
I know you want to chime in, Tony, but the next question would be, so number-wise, do you think that most of these people that are speaking are talking themselves into a hole and they're getting arrested because of what they said? Now, think about it before you say it. I'm
this is
saying the
what-
majority.
Majority of them. Let me say two parts to that. Majority of them, if they're guilty, yes, they're talking themselves right into the 25 to motherfucking life, right? If
See,
they're
you keep going to the.
innocent-
Hang on,
if
before you
they're
go.
innocent-
You keep going to the extreme because you say 25 to life.
Whatever.
I'm not
5
talking
years,
about
2 years, 3
No, but
days.
See,
Don't
there's a
make a
big
fucking
difference. There's a big difference
even
between a
got that
crime
process
that's
yet.
25 to life
All right,
and
all
somebody doing a year or some months.
All right,
There's
all
a
right.
big difference between that crime.
All right.
If my daughter is
right.
over there because her friend shoplifted or whatever, that's a whole different crime than your son being on the curb because JoJo shot somebody at the dance, and now that they know JoJo's your best friend, and they want to know where hell JoJo is. That's a big difference.
It is a difference, but the difference between my daughter staying her ass at home and not being put into the system is major to me. So if my daughter knew that this girl was shoplifting, and if she keeps her mouth shut and the lawyer advises her, it is well worth the money I have to
So
pay.
you finna
to
get
keep
a
her out of
lawyer.
jail.
You finna get a
Keep her out of
lawyer
jail.
because
I don't want my
Tony
child in the system,
shoplifted and
'cause I
Eric,
don't want my
'cause
child in
Eric
the
ain't gonna
system.
say nothing.
I'll
Okay.
do whatever
Eric
I have
better
to
tell-
do.
go
What I
ahead,
do
Tom.
whatever
Go
I
ahead,
have to
Tom.
do to
I'm
make
done.
sure my child does not get in the system.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Okay, so the scenario is, say your kids was at a party and things popped off. Okay?
What popped off?
Somebody pulled out a gun, shot, fight.
Okay, that's the
Somebody
extreme.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, or less than that. Like say fought, somebody got knocked out, unconscious, about to rush the thing, assault. Okay. First the cops are gonna come and ask what happened. Right? If your kids are not involved, they were just there and they witness, they're gonna ask a bunch of people. They're not gonna let nobody go until everybody finds out. Okay.
And at most time, your kids, if they're not involved, they're not even going to
Okay.
say nothing.
Right. That's
So
what I'm getting to.
okay.
When you are called in for questioning into the actual in the room with them folks,
So you've got to that level.
that's when you get to that level. When you say I'm not talking unless you're involved. You're automatically involved. They're gonna look at you like you're involved because you're asking for a lawyer. When you're a person of interest,
We've been trained bad, boy.
Kev,
We've been trained bad.
no,
No,
hold on.
Kev,
You
don't
believe
judge.
that.
You know what?
You
Because
believe that.
you're coming from a whole different place. Is what I'm saying.
You believe what you just said, don't you, Tony? You believe because I want a lawyer, I am involved.
No, that's not what he said. He said that's
did.
what they said.
the cops are gonna assume once you ask for a lawyer, they're gonna assume you know something more than what all the other witnesses known that they went. Say they came over there and asked Eric's kids what happened, and all of a sudden one girl goes no, that actually knows whatever more than everybody else knows, and they come in for questioning. We need
Kev,
you to come in for
I know
questioning.
you're gonna say. I know you see because your problem is you got a problem with you got to.
Authority.
Well, you know. He's got that OG thinking of snitching and everything else.
No, that has nothing to do with snitching.
When I think that if my daughter is innocent, and this is the way I've raised my kids, if they're innocent, they should speak the truth. So when they're asked what happened, they need the only thing that I'm asking happen before they get to speaking is I wish that I could be there first. Before the lawyer, before everybody else, I want to be there to be able to have my daughter's back. But if she has nothing to do with what happened other than being a witness, she needs to speak and say what happened. She doesn't need a lawyer. She doesn't need anything else to say what happened. Now, if they're coming at her like we think that you're a accessory to it, we think that you helped kill, we think that you helped jump somebody. That's a whole different thing. Now we're talking about.
That's what we were talking about, right? We were
No.
talking about these 4 kids, the case of those 4 kids, and they were already at the police station.
So in the case of that, if you're saying those kids are so innocent, like
I'm
for
not saying
instance,
they innocent. I didn't say they was innocent.
okay, Kevin, for instance, you're saying that these kids were good athletes,
Yeah.
scholarship athletes. So like my daughter, a
Yeah.
scholarship athlete. If my daughter was at her school on a full ride scholarship and she's playing ball, bruh, and she gets involved with some cats that supposedly killed somebody or whatever over some weed, and you swear, I'm listening to what my daughter says, and she swears up and down that she doesn't have anything to do with that. All she knows is that they were at the house and those guys came over with this money, and she swears that she doesn't know anything about that. All I'm saying is that, yeah, you're going to have to get a lawyer. You will have to get a lawyer because you're involved in the thing. But if that's the truth, she can start telling the truth whenever she wants to because it's not more complicated than, I don't know where these motherfuckers came from. They came here with the money. So her story doesn't go any further than that. They can say, well, what kind of car they drive? I don't know. They came here with the money.
Right.
Well, did they come at 9 o'clock? I don't remember what time. They came here with the money.
Right.
So if that's the truth, they can say it whenever they want to say it. I'm still going to get them a lawyer, but what I'm saying is I'm not telling my kids that, I'm not training my kids that don't never speak to the police until you get a lawyer because I just don't feel like.
It gets a whole lot complicated.
Exactly. You're just adding
I
stuff
understand
to it.
exactly what you're saying. I'm saying to you, this is my advice the way I feel. And you said it the way you feel. You feel, hey, go ahead, tell your story, let it be known, so they can just eliminate
What does all
you.
that mean? Why is he saying let it be
Well,
known and
well,
everything?
A lot of people feel
when
that
they
same way.
ask you a question, you answer it.
A lot of people feel that same way. But with the laws the way they are, being an accessory to something.
But I've
quickly
never.
flips.
That's what I'm saying.
It quickly
I've never
turns into
experienced it.
Tony knew I was broke. Tony knew that I said I was going to rob the damn store. I walked the hell out to go rob the store. Now Tony should have called the police, said Kevin left, went to go rob the store, go get his ass.
Those
Tony
are two
didn't
different
call.
situations.
Tony didn't call. So when I came back, well, Tony knew I was going to rob the motherfuckers. Now Tony is accessory to me robbing the store.
But that's a whole different
but
situation.
I'm just saying, no, but even at that, if you do not have the proper representation, Tony could end up an accessory to me robbing a motherfucker and somebody dying at the store.
Well, if they charge you, then
Right?
you get a lawyer.
Exactly.
But
once they
now-
come at you,
now-
once they
now,
come
Tony,
at you and say
Tony,
that's just what
Tony,
we're doing,
I got you.
you
Now,
get a lawyer.
Put that in the mind of a 19-year-old
I,
in another state, away from all these people.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. Right.
Tony, before you say that, you're trying to change the.
I'm not
You're trying to
trying to-
change.
I'm
Yes,
just
you
trying
are.
to say,
You
man,
keep trying to add
the
more
world
to
is
it
fucked
to make
up.
it seem like, okay, in that case, yes, I would get a lawyer. What I'm saying is, you started it so simple with
Yeah,
these guys were
the
sitting there,
world
they
is
don't know,
fucked-
but
the
you
world's
keep
fucked
adding
up.
to it. You keep adding to it. It's like saying, you got a truck with a V6. You should have got a V8. I don't need a V6. But what about if you? What about if you need
Got-
to tow a boat? My
got mad
V6.
wheels.
Hang on.
Got
My
turbo.
my V6 can do it. Hey, but what about if you get a fifth wheel? My V6 should be able to hang there. Yeah, but what about if you get a fifth wheel and you're going uphill? You know what? God damn it, I need a V8. That's what you're doing. You're adding to it to make it to the point.
No,
Go ahead, Tom.
man,
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm going fundamental, basic. I just believe that we gotta
not
we
fundamental,
gotta
you're
use
adding.
But
we gotta use
Go
the
ahead, Tom.
resources
Go ahead,
we
Tom.
have to protect ourselves.
But see,
That's
check it
it.
out.
That's what I think.
This is like a story, right? Okay, I have a story, right? I think I was probably about 7 or 8, right?
It ain't got nothing to do with me involved, right?
I didn't know
Because
you.
you didn't.
I didn't
I'm
know
just
you were
saying, don't be
7 or
throwing.
8.
We got a lot of
Same
stories. I
story.
don't want you adding me in.
No. This is before I even came to the
At
West.
7 or 8
Go ahead,
7 or
bro.
8.
Go ahead, bro.
in New York.
So I was back east, right? And it was a bunch of us. It was probably summertime. We was in the stoop, right? Sitting on the stoop, which is stairs for some people.
Fuck it, we know what stoops is. Damn it.
Some of y'all motherfuckers don't know what
Because you
stoop
from New
is.
York, we know what a stoop is.
So some guy walks into the local neighborhood bar, and mind you, I live in an Italian neighborhood. So the guy starts drunk, starts shit. He gets kicked out. You know, the wise guys in there, they kick him out. Hey, get the fuck out of here. What's the matter with you, fucking bum? He comes in and I say, I fucking take a lot of you motherfuckers. He goes back in there. Next thing you do, you got 4 cats come in there. They throw him out, which is right there in some square. And then there's like one short guy that reminds me of Joe Pesci, where they trying to hold him back because he wanted to. He comes out there, and everybody's around. Everybody's out. There's like witnesses all over the place. Kids, everything. We're just standing there watching this crap going on. Like crazy violence. They go out there. Joe Pesci dude comes out there, hits him over the head with a bat while he's laid out. And they were like, oh, shit, the dude killed him. He goes back in there, nah, I ain't fucking kill him. I ain't kill him. Fuck the bum. So the guy goes out there and kicks him. And then the guy starts breathing again because everybody's like, oh, shit. Cops come. Everybody's like, whatever, I ain't seen nothing, right? Knowing in the neighborhood, you don't talk to cops. Guess what they did? Came straight to the kids. Try to intimidate them. Like, hey, we can take you downtown, blah, blah. And they came to me and they say, hey, come here, kid. Let me talk to you for a second. Sir, come over here.
Nigga,
you
that's the
fucking
Bronx
prick.
tale.
Come over here, you prick. Everything is the Bronx tale back east.
That's the Bronx tale. I've seen that movie.
I'm glad somebody took my screenwriting.
Oh shit.
So he goes, oh, come over here, kid. Let me talk to you. Something. What happened? What happened? What's going on, right? And he talks to me, right? And I go, and the thing they say is, I ain't seen nothing. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to bring you downtown. We're going to charge you. We're going to put you in the boys club. We're going to do all that bullshit.
He told
And you're
y'all
gonna be-
that?
Yeah,
The
he
kid?
said, he was talking all that shit. He even said, they're going to fuck you when they're in there. What the fuck? And then, luckily, Joey, a big provolone cheese eating motherfucker, comes out and goes, you heard what he said. He didn't see nothing. Unless you want to call his parents, you can't talk to him for shit. Matter
Yeah,
of
I
fact,
swear that's the
matter of
Bronx
fact,
tale.
matter of fact, I'm his guardian. Get the fuck. I was like this. Yeah, he's my guardian. And then all of a sudden he was like, God, get the fuck out of here, you little prick.
That sounds like the Bronx tale.
Nobody. There was, at least 50 witnesses. Nobody seen nothing, and they couldn't take us in. They couldn't do anything. They wanted to get somebody to, flip, but nobody flipped. Regardless, they just had to scoop them up and go. They had nothing. There's no way you could ever even grab a kid without somebody telling you they need their parents.
So Tom, again,
Don't buy these. No.
you did not speak and say anything And even the dude came out and said, you needed some sort of representation to represent you. Right? Parent, motherfucker, something, right?
He knew that the cop knew he couldn't take
But
me in. He was just
basically-
intimidating me.
Right. Basically, he was saying, don't say shit until you get somebody that can be on your side, an advocate for you.
I think I think the detective was trying to, he called his bluff. Like, you can't take the kid down there with his parents.
Right.
But what if you want to tow wood? You gonna keep on going, nigga.
Oh,
What about if the boat is hella big with wood and a fifth wheel?
Oh, shit. Let it
What?
die. Story over.
Man, nobody.
We
listening
towing
no more.
wood now,
the
so
moral
story
of
over.
the story is don't hang out with motherfuckers that do dirt.
That's it.
That's the moral of the story, definitely.
No, the moral of the story is what Zola told me.
What's that?
I'll whip your
That's
ass.
my mama. My mama told me whenever you see shit happening like that, that's bad shit. Run. My boys will tell you that's my nickname. 29th Street Running
Was
Man.
gone?
No, I was Running Man because I would take off. It didn't matter if it was our boys. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
I didn't know
you're
no
right.
better for a long time, so it could be like one of my boys was doing something bad. I'd
Yeah.
take off running.
Listen, don't
My
disappoint your
parents
mama.
was like, if some shit go down, you leave. And you right. My parents said the same shit. You said, you don't stick around for no crazy shit.
And my
Get the hell
kids,
out.
Stupid
and
ass.
my
But my
kids,
advice to my kids is so you get anything ever happen, you call me first. Because we calling the motherfucking lawyer. We don't do shit. We ain't getting in the middle of nothing. You ain't going to get no statement, no nothing.
You know
until
what?
I'm
It's
there
in the-
and
in
the
the-
motherfucking cops
in
with
the-
a lawyer.
in the big story, the big picture to me, and it's why I don't like talking about it a lot because I just feel like I know there's a lot of fucked up things happening out there when it comes to cops, when it comes to the legal system period, the justice system period, and black folks. My thing is that I come from a kind of an awkward spot because I know it's happened. I've witnessed, some, not extreme, but I witnessed some. And I just don't, through my experience, I haven't never witnessed a lot of what a lot of people are saying. And mind you, I might not
Me either.
I might not be from Compton, but I am from California.
Yeah.
We do have big, back when we were coming up, the 80s, it's big gang. It was big gang stuff going on. So I grew up in a time when we were guilty by association. I grew up in a time when everybody was Easy-E and selling dope and everything else. And it's just that through that time, I've actually, I'm not gonna say I've had, positive experience with cops, but I've never been unjustly, punished for something that I wasn't involved. Did something just happen?
No, Eric, just keep going.
I never been unjustly punished for something that I wasn't in, because I can sit
Right.
there and say that I was, that cop did us dirty, made us sit on the curb, made us, searched us, did all that. But you got to remember,
That's happening.
it wasn't like then the same thing I say about when I'm grown now. When I think about these people getting shot, it's like I tell people all the time, if you hear I got shot, if you hear I got arrested,
Shit.
I mean something big must have happened, because they gonna have to come to my house and shoot me. They
Yeah.
gonna have to come. And don't get me wrong, they did it in the grocery store the other day. But I'm saying they gonna have to come to Bel Air, the grocery store, find me and shoot me, because I'm only hanging out in certain
Buying
spots.
grapes.
So in order for you to, I'm not hanging out in front of departments no more.
You know what's
I'm not
funny?
doing that stupid shit.
What's funny about what you just
putting
said
myself in that position.
is, man, I'm clean as the board of health. I mean, I don't be going to jail.
I don't know if you that clean, nigga.
No, I'm just saying.
You
I've
do some
I've
shiesty
never
shit.
had.
You do
I've
some
never
shiesty
had
shit, nigga. You got
an
6
experience.
cars.
Shut the fuck up. I've never had the experience.
You got 6
like
cars,
that.
and I ain't never seen you at work.
Always at home. and shit.
It
That's
don't make
fun-
no sense.
Hey,
I ain't,
that's what happens when you get a okay education in a decent job.
whatever. I'm
I
just
got
saying.
that.
I ain't never seen the job.
Cars.
I ain't never seen you at work. And on top of that, every time we ready to go somewhere, if I say, hey, let's go to Reno, you down. If I say, where we go last year, where we travel with us out of
Education?
town to?
education, and a decent job.
Yeah, that's what
that,
you tell.
that allows
That's,
for you to do all
that's
that.
what you tell the niggas at the office.
Okay, that's what I tell them. But you know, the funny part is, like you said, about I've never had a real bad experience with police, but in the same token, I've always kept my conversation limited. You know, if I get pulled over by an officer, he asks for my license, I give him my license. He asks for my insurance, I give him my insurance. He asks me where I'm going, I tell him where I'm going.
Hey,
right?
Toe, you know how I
keep
picture
it,
that?
Keep it PG. Keep it
You know
straight
how I
like
picture
that.
that?
He started asking more questions than that. I need to know why.
I
Get out
picture,
the car.
I picture that as he's a brother that he just mad for no reason.
I'm
so
not
the
mad.
so the cop pulls him over and says, "Hi, excuse me, sir.
Hey there.
Could you roll your window down?" Yeah, I can roll my window down.
Nope.
What the fuck for?
Nope.
I'm just
Never
pulled
had
you
that
over
experience.
because you got your license plate was hanging off. Oh, so I see. Cause I'm a black man. You got that's how I see that nigga, man. Cause
Nope.
he's
Nope.
already short with him. Cop pulled me over. The
only
cop
time I've
pulls
been
me
short
over
with
and
him-
stuff. I'm like,
Yeah,
he
a lot of
like
people
they're
out
like,
there like
Oh,
that.
I've been with you when the cop pulled your ass over. You almost got us both shot.
no,
That-
no.
Me
Tell
and
the truth.
you and your
Hey,
daughter. You
tell the
talked your way
truth.
out of that ticket.
Tell
you
the
almost
truth.
got us all shot because that motherfucker was like,
Ooh,
get
know
back in
what,
the car,
Kev?
sir.
I didn't hear this
He was
shit.
like,
That's
look,
bullshit.
look,
Kev, you know,
told the
tell the
motherfucker was
truth,
like
Kev.
this. I swear, I'm
Okay,
not
tell the
lying about
truth.
the
I want to
story.
hear this. I want to hear
We
it.
going down.
If you lie, nigga,
Bradshaw.
I'ma slap
We going
fire
down
out ya.
Bradshaw. We going down Bradshaw. We get past
Why you
16.
giving
Oh,
street names and shit, nigga? Just
of
tell
Jackson.
us.
Tony know what the fuck I'm talking about. We get
Where you
past.
did your
over there
motorcycle
by-
stuff at.
Yeah, but you did the motorcycle
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I heard about that. So anyway, you're going down that street and there's a speed change. But Eric is still going, I don't know, maybe 50, 55. The speed change is a 45, I think it is.
Right.
So Eric, he pulls us over. And Eric's like, damn, I don't want to get another ticket. I just got a ticket such and such. I really can't afford another ticket. Blah blah blah.
your
I
business.
gotta talk to
This
this.
nigga ain't telling a story right.
I gotta talk to this
All
cop.
your business.
I gotta talk to the cop, right?
your
No
business.
bullshit. I'm not bullshit.
So check it out. So check it out.
Me, Eric, and his daughter in the car. I'm telling the story. You listen. You tell the story your way. I'll tell the story my way. So Eric's like, I gotta talk to him. Eric get out of the car, and I'm already shitting bricks because I'm like, oh shit, this nigga getting out the car, right? And he's like, officer. He's like, get back in the car, sir. Get back in the car. Wait a minute. I gotta tell you something. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, please. And Eric goes up to him and he talks to him.
man.
Damn,
I am
He's
not lying. I am not lying. Don't lie, Eric.
Please,
he goes
baby,
up to him
please, baby.
and he talks to the officer about taking his daughter to training for basketball.
This motherfucker
Training
lying.
for basketball.
I ain't say
And
nothing like
you're
that.
lying.
Strange.
You're
Gotta pull on
lying.
that
Kev,
hard
okay,
Training for
when I
basketball.
tell the story, you're gonna be like,
Talk-
oh yeah, that's right.
Talks
That's where
his
he
way
went.
out of the ticket, and he lets us go. That's exactly what happened, no doubt. Now tell me the story differently. Go ahead, tell it.
So what happened?
His last name.
Oh, Black as Stone. So the story goes like this. He right. The parts that he's getting all fucked up is that we were going to play basketball we were going to play basketball in the morning, right? The
Sunday morning we play basketball.
So
on Sundays.
we were going through some construction area where it was going slow. Then as soon as we came out the construction area, I figured we're out of the construction area. I can go back up to normal speed.
Oh.
It was still construction area, right?
It was still construction.
So
area.
they came, they pulled us over.
Damn.
So they pulled us over.
Whoop, whoop.
He comes to the window. He said, "I pulled you over because you're speeding. Can I get your, license, registration, whatever." I give it. Yeah, no problem. I give him the stuff. I ain't say shit to him about nothing. He starts walking back to the car, and I'm sitting there. Kevin and my daughter, they just chopping it up, like this nigga got pulled over. Da, 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 da. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn, I had just got a red light ticket. Right? So I'm like, man, and they like, so I say it out loud to them, like, man, I just got a, you turn right on red. I didn't come to a complete stop. So I'm like, damn, I'm paying that motherfucker now. And that motherfucker was like, I think it was like $300 for that motherfucker. I was like, damn. So I'm sitting there thinking about all that while these cats is over there talking like money ain't a thing. like
Yeah, Mace
they
and
like
Puffy.
like money ain't a thing.
Hey, his daughter keep it. She robbed
So,
him.
so
she
I'm
got
like,
money.
so fuck it. I just like that, Kev. Just like that, Tone. I said, fuck it. I opened the door. Tone, Kev said, where the fuck you going? Where you going? I said, I gotta talk this one. With him. So I start walking back there, and he says, whoa, what are you doing? I say, I put my hands in the air I said, I just need to talk to you, bro. He says, okay, you need to get back in the car. I said, I just want to talk to you. He says,
hell.
he says, okay, what is it? Like that. So then I'm like, look, bro. I explained to him. I said, I just got a ticket. He said, for what? I said, for not coming to a complete stop. I told him the intersection and stuff. I said, they got my picture and stuff. They sent it to me. And he's like, oh, yeah, we've been having a lot of that lately in that area. And so he says, so this is where Tone gets it all fucked up and shit.
Kev gets it all fucked up. Kev gets it all fucked up.
I'm sorry, Kevin
Kev.
gets it all fucked up. Is that it was no, I'm taking my daughter to practice and stuff. He says, where y'all going to play at? I said, we play at Folsom.
How
on
does
Sunday."
he know we going to play?
Because he asked me. He says, where
Okay,
y'all
what'd
going?
you
I said, we're
say?
going to play basketball.
Thank
and plus,
you.
well, I'm in basketball gear.
But he
Nobody
asked
said,
where y'all
I
going.
never said nothing about, I'm training my daughter, this and that. I never told him no shit like that. I said, we play
Can I
pickup.
phone a friend?
Let me finish. I said, we play pickup ball. We play pickup ball in Folsom every Sunday morning. And so he said, oh, yeah? And he, to the point where he was asking me, y'all get a good turnout, all that stuff. He's asking me about the basketball, and I'm telling him about, yeah, we go up there. And in the middle of me telling him, he gets a call on his thing for somewhere around the way. And he's like, hang on just a minute. And he talks on the thing on his shoulder, the damn CB thing on his shoulder. And he's like, man, you know what? You got real lucky this time because I got to go see about this, whatever. So
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah. Go ahead and get back in your car. I'll be up there in just a minute. I think he did like a run on my license just to make sure that I wasn't bullshitting. He came back up there, told us to slow down, and he took off. It wasn't none of that bullshit about,
Okay.
please, Mr. Big, please, Mr.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry. You know, you
Can
just
I
let me
phone a
done.
friend?
Who you gonna phone, Deja?
This motherfucker. Can I phone a friend? We just leave it
Okay.
at that.
Yes, you can phone a friend.
Okay.
So
If you had a friend, you black bastard, you ain't got no goddamn friend. Me and Tony, the only friends you got.
That's all I
So-
need. That's all I need. Is you
so
and Tony.
This
Shit.
is when
And
the
I'm just
listeners
telling you.
call, oh, not call, but comment on who do they believe, Kev? Or
Man,
Eve?
it ain't no who you believe. I'm telling you the
Tony,
truth. Kev's a lying motherfucker.
Tony, no
Man,
joke.
fuck feedback. Kevin's a lying
no
motherfucker.
joke, Tony.
Man, you just insulted the four
Okay,
listeners.
okay, well check it out.
Tony,
Well check it out.
I'm yelling,
Ain't
Tony.
nobody listening. Cut his
What
mic
is going
off.
on?
Cut his mic off. Tony,
Tony, I gotta
you
ask
witnessed him lying in episode like 2 or 3 when he was talking about it was obvious only one of us had our shoes off. But if you go back to that show, he'll say, "Oh, nigga, you ain't got no shoes on your black ass. You feel like you been walking." And I'm like, "How are you saying that if I got shoes on?"
Oh no.
I mean, Tony.
yes.
See, Tony, don't do that.
That's
You witnessed him lying.
That's the lotion in your heels.
And I
episode.
told,
I don't know if that's.
I told you then.
we
Tone,
don't even play that episode. I
Tone.
think.
I told. What did
Oh,
I?
it's up there.
Tone. What did I say? I said, Tone. I said,
Yeah, how you see my
I
feet?
said, you know what?
Don't wear socks.
I said, tell the truth. Do I got on? He lied right on air. Oh, look at your feet. You come over here all the time with no shoes on. I'm like, this lying motherfucker, man.
I don't remember saying that. You
Okay,
didn't
but
have-
it's there.
I don't remember.
Go check it
saying-
out.
I'm
Which
gonna
episode
listen,
is it,
I'm gonna
Tone?
listen to my damn self. I don't remember
Lotion
saying,
them heels episode.
Yeah, I
That
don't remember you
episode.
saying me saying that you had no shoes on at that episode. I don't remember that. I remember talking about your feet.
That fucking
I
lying.
remember calling your feet all kinds of shit. But I might maybe
Those have
maybe
listened
I
to that.
know,
you said I
maybe.
embellished. You
Those
said I
have
embellished.
listened to that
I said
episode.
embellished.
Hit
But
us
Tony, let
and
me
let
say
us
this
know
about
what
this
happened.
episode. This episode right here, Tony. This
Okay.
one right now we talking about.
I can't stand
Was
that
our
motherfucker.
stories that far off, Tony?
No,
for real?
but you made
They're
it seem-
very, very similar, right?
Until
We
you
said
got
be
to the
honest,
part
Tony.
about,
I heard
officer,
two
please,
different
officer,
stories.
please.
Oh, okay.
I got to take my daughter to go train. I'm
That's
sorry,
what I
officer.
remember. I gotta ask. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna phone a friend. We ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna phone a friend. And
You
ask
ain't
for
got
that.
no friends. The only person you can call is
I told
Deja.
you. But that's who I will be calling.
Nigga, you think she gonna side with you instead of her dad?
Yeah, she don't did that before.
Not this time.
Hey, we close as shit. You know that.
Oh shit!
She don't did that before.
All right, if it's
Came
E
over
or
a few
Kev,
times. Come sit down and
Well, I'll
talk to
tell
me.
you what.
I want to
Yeah,
talk to you
take
about my
us
dad.
She ain't gonna do it this time, that's for sure. I'm about to
I
go
know.
home and make sure this ain't on.
You gonna put her on punishment? Give me your
Hey,
phone.
the point is, knucklehead ass motherfuckers, stop doing dumb shit. That's it.
I can't
That's
believe
back, but
that
up,
went
back
that
to
long.
that point. Back to our point. Stop doing dumb shit. My point is, consult your mom and daddy, get some
I
help
love it.
before you
And
do
we
something.
ain't even no.
Unless your mom and dad is Kevin.
Hey, my kids is college graduates, both of them. Doing
I know
well.
because they got a good mama.
Woo! Doing well.
They
Well,
got a good
whatever
mama.
it is, a tag team,
Yeah, make
tag
it-
Man,
team,
just don't
back
tag
again.
team. Don't try to throw
Whatever
your
the fuck
ass
it
up in
is.
there. Don't try to throw
Tag
your
team,
sorry
back
ass
again.
up
Working
in there.
hard ass daddy did something.
Oh,
did
sweet
something
Jesus.
Then you nigga, you was hanging out with me drinking beer on the stoop. as Tony say. On the stoop, as Tony
You
say.
on the stairs over there.
right. Man, let's get into something else, man.
What's up?
The motherfucking Hall of Fame inductions was the other day, man. What's up with that?
Anyway.
What you hear? Because I heard some stupid shit.
Come on,
I
man,
just
get
want to
to
talk
the-
about
get to the
one
main
dude,
part. Get
one
to
dude,
T.O.
one dude on Terrell Owens. Now, the question is, do you think he was right or wrong? Do you feel like he should have went to the induction? Or do you feel like this thing in Chattanooga was the right thing to do?
So you're not speaking on it, it's just me.
I'm not speaking. I ain't hear shit.
All right, so, damn, man, I hate that. Every time I talk, I feel like everybody in the our 4 listeners are all like, "Oh, here he goes
Here
again.
go this hating ass motherfucker.
Here this motherfucker goes." So when I first heard that he wasn't gonna be there, yeah, I think I was like everybody else. I was kind of like, oh, man, this motherfucker, he need to go. You know what I'm saying? He's lucky to be considered to be in there. I mean, don't get me, he's not lucky. He earned it. But what I'm saying, take it as a privilege, take it as an honor, go in there and do it. But after hearing his speech, his 4-hour speech that he gave at the college or whatever that he gave it at,
4
because he didn't show up. He went and he did his own speech at a school that same day, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
After listening to his reasoning and
Reason for what?
because he didn't. So
He didn't go to
I'm
the
sorry.
Hall of Fame.
so he was
After all
inducted
his
into
antics?
he was inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He didn't show up because he felt like he should have been in a long time. He should have been in already. He should have been a first round.
But I thought he wanted to play still, so they don't they?
Nah,
if you want to play, they just
no. But
maybe I don't
okay,
know.
but
I
what
don't
about
know.
the other years?
But
Oh,
you're
okay.
still in.
I
Because
thought
this
he was
is
trying to
still his.
play.
This is like what his third. It was his third try.
Damn, I didn't know that.
So it's like. He felt like he should have been in, and I agree. I think he should have been in too. But after hearing him speak and stuff, I understood what he was saying. He was making a statement about, and it wasn't even so much about the Hall of Fame. It was more about the voters, the press that votes, about how they decided to keep him out. And stat wise, number wise, man, he's a sure win for first round. You can't judge him by his antics. Shit, they just put Ray Lewis in there, and he's a murderer.
Damn, damn.
He ain't doing no time, so
Whatever.
They said he was innocent.
Okay, here we go again. Back to where we started.
No,
that
I'm
fucker,
not gonna say
that fucker was
No.
in the car when they pulled out that gun and they shot him. So you was in there.
Let's get back to
See, kids, see what a good lawyer does for you.
no. You
Oh,
gotta get
I
that
didn't-
money.
I never said it won't get you out of trouble.
You gotta get that money first.
But anyway,
Yeah,
but
get
yeah,
the
but
money
yeah,
first though.
But as far as T.O. goes, he ain't never been in trouble. All his trouble he's ever been into was antics on the field. Out the field, he ain't never been in trouble.
yeah,
And nobody should be mad at T.O. or feel that way about T.O. more than me and Kev. We Dallas Cowboys fans. When he disrespected the star,
It should be more of his stats and
and that's what it should be about.
playing. Right.
Because if we start opening it up to, but what type of person they are, and there's a lot of people that probably shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame if you want to do it like that.
Yeah, it's not a humanitarian award. It's Hall of Fame. It's what you contributed to the game.
What you got against humanitarians? You can love whoever you want to love.
This is a Hall of Fame. This is NFL. This is
Yeah, but
not
if you want to,
humanitarian.
if you're a man who loves a man, or if you're a woman who loves a woman, you should be able to love whoever you want to love.
Humanitarian.
Yeah. What?
Okay.
Isn't that what that is?
Ooh, God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I just believe humanitarians are
do
people
what the
too.
Fuck you want to do, but
So anyway, I'm
go
done
back
with
to
that.
Tio. Goddamn. 4-hour speech.
The 4-hour speech is a little bit long.
Yeah, I don't know.
My
It
thing
wasn't
is,
4 hours.
I
but it
guess
was long as
my
hell.
opinion about it is that
Next topic. So
T.O.
I want to talk about.
T.O. And in my
gotta
eye
hear
was a
him
good
finish,
football
man.
player. I couldn't stand him when he was with the Niners. Simple as that. Just because that's just hating, pure hating. But he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. And if he had to go through all that just to get on, that's ridiculous. So I think I would be upset too. But the appreciation that I think you get from going to the Hall of Fame and being in the ceremony and going through the whole thing is what he missed out on, experience that he missed out that he should have had. So I was kind of disappointed that he didn't go.
Okay, so
Okay,
is
so-
he in there
I
or is
wanted
he
him to
not?
go there.
He's in
and get
there.
all that.
He just didn't go
No,
to
but
the
he didn't go to
induction.
the ceremony. He didn't go to all
To
that
the
stuff
ceremony.
and be around that and all that
He-
environment, all the
you know
other great
what,
football players.
But-
he
but-
needed
but-
to get
but-
You
his
always got to make a
his
drama.
accolades
But his
and his
explanation-
appreciation
but
from
his-
them too.
But his
to say you did a
explanation.
great job.
But his explanation for it was. Did I say that right? Explanation.
Explanation.
Yeah.
You right.
Yes.
You
So-
got it. Bingo.
So what he's trying to, what he's saying is that sometimes that he's not so much doing it for himself. He's saying that sometimes it's going to be some there's going to be a feeling of missing out on something in order to make the right statement. So he's saying that he doesn't feel like he's missing out on the stuff. Yeah, he's not there and stuff, but he's doing it for future people. He's standing up saying that, you guys can't judge the future kids coming up the same way that you're doing this to me. It's like we're not going to stand for it. They did him wrong. So, by not standing up and showing up, you're like saying, okay, I'm just happy to be in. Thank you. By him not showing up, he's like, fuck you. I'm in because of what I've earned.
Ooh, he petty.
I'm in because of what I've earned. And on top of that, I didn't show up to your bullshit, but you still got to put me in there.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I can see that point.
But at the same time, I mean, come on, you got to admit, you're in there. You might not have been in there when you wanted to be, but
But that's bullshit.
Yeah.
it's bullshit. But they must have judged you in your bullshit.
Well, there's no doubt he was. To me, he was the first ballot Hall of Famer. The man got down. Simple as that. He made some things happen for the Niners and for the Cowboys and for Philly too. I mean, so props to him. I'm glad he's in.
Chips.
I wish it wouldn't be so controversial when it comes to those type of players. Man, they're great players and they represent the NFL well. I wish.
Quiet as kept, I'll take T.O. now.
Hell yeah. I wish that the NFL was as strong as I feel about the NBA. I think the NBA represents its players better.
Yeah, whatever. Go to the next topic, nigga.
But congratulations to T.O. Fuck it. It's simple as that. And the next topic is
Man, we eat a lot of junk food in this.
you gonna hate the next topic. But I'm gonna speak on it anyway.
That's because you and Kevin two chubby niggas. Y'all always want to eat and
The
shit.
same guy that was just showing his gut. to all of us.
I heard
See,
that. So.
see, now I never brought it. That's
You just
bringing
called
up
me
shit
chubby,
like
and I
that.
could say grab
But
your
I didn't
stomach.
I didn't say nothing about nobody knows I got a gut. Why you want to bring that up?
Now I said a gut. I
You
ain't
said a
say-
gut.
You can have a gut. It's your gut.
Who got a gut?
You can still have a six pack. and
Fucker,
still be
you
a
ain't
gut.
got it. You ain't like you sitting over there like Tom
I'm
Cruise
holding
and
my
shit.
gut.
You kind of, nigga. I see it.
Yeah, I seen yours.
You kind of pretty and plump.
Yeah. But you don't see it. I don't expose it like you did earlier.
So what?
That shit was all black
But
and shiny.
why you telling everybody what I do and shit? That ain't nobody else's
Damn.
business.
I'm just
You
saying.
always want to fat shame somebody, man.
There ain't nobody shaming
Ever
nothing.
since
I
you
just
started-
said.
No, ever
Okay.
since you start going to the gym a little bit, not all of a sudden.
Your
this
fitness
fucker-
is it 24 hour
this fucker think
or family
I don't-
fitness
who
or
cares? Who cares, man?
I'll be up in that motherfucker.
Ah, here he go.
Which
You
one,
know what
Tony?
I'm saying? I
Fucker,
do
man.
all that shit.
which one, Tony?
You think he all
Damn
super
fit,
buff?
man.
and
Oh,
shit,
I
man.
shit.
ain't
Go on,
super
boy.
fat.
Go
I
on,
ain't
boy.
super buff.
I know you ain't punk.
Okay. Kev, you was here when I just said.
Here we go.
Damn, we eat a lot of junk food, right? And
Oh,
there
here
he
this
goes.
fucker go.
There he goes. Oh yeah, you and Kev.
You can't talk. You sold all your fitness stuff in the garage sale a couple months ago.
And I still go to 24-hour fitness.
I came by that nigga's house. He had all kind of weight benches and, and all kinds of shits out there. Norda tracks.
I know.
Norda tracks and everything.
Hey, and go to 24-hour fitness. Keep myself going.
I'm gonna take a
Daily
picture of
occurrence.
what we eat during our.
That's the bad part. This shit right here. What we
Why
do this
everybody
episode.
gotta know what we eat?
Because the listeners want to know
No,
you.
nobody want to know that shit. You always want to. No, he don't.
Don't nobody want to see fireworks on Don't Be
Oh,
Stupid.
now the truth come out.
What the fuck?
Now the truth is coming out.
Next
So
topic.
you got a problem with me putting up the
Fireworks.
fireworks?
Next topic.
What's that
It was the
gonna do?
4th of July, bitch.
Oh, my bad.
You gotta love the real and the raw come through sometime. Hey, anyway, so next
America,
topic.
fuck yeah.
Next topic, which he ain't gonna want to talk about any fucking way, but we gonna talk about it anyway, is Donald Trump, LeBron James, and the comment from Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I got a boo-boo.
I don't give a fuck. Take a shit on this comment right here. Michael Jordan
God
says
damn.
I do not want him taking this
says
shit
in
up this
support
motherfucker.
to LeBron James.
Here we go.
I support LeBron James. He's doing an amazing job for his community. And all of a sudden, all kinds of backlash happens. People are not happy with what Michael Jordan says.
Go ahead, Tom.
They're feeling like Michael Jordan should be more supportive of the black community,
always
or
wanna talk about
LeBron
Michael Jordan.
supporting the black community, or
Michael
whatever
Jordan
they
ain't
think.
touched a basketball
Whatever
in
they think Michael
25
Jordan
years.
should be doing. Do you believe that Michael Jordan should be?
Why everything come back to Michael Jordan
I
with
don't
you?
know why. Man, this is Trump. Trump said, "I prefer Mike," and it set
Yeah,
the
but
whole
Trump
thing off.
is another reason why you got back to Michael. Every damn episode you bring up Michael Jordan.
Fuck, man, he's the GOAT. Just fuck it. Let's just go on about yourself. LeBron is the GOAT too, though. Shit. Let's just get real.
How can they
hate-
both be the GOAT?
all this hating I've been doing for years, I got to admit this motherfucker's bad as shit.
Okay, that's a shot
Anyway,
to LeBron.
let's just go ahead. Yeah, the shot at LeBron was trying to disrespect LeBron.
Yeah,
but
this
my
is a shot
thing
at
is,
LeBron. That's
I
all.
want to talk about Jordan. I don't even want to talk about Trump. I don't want to talk about LeBron. I want to talk about, is Jordan, did he do enough, or is he doing enough, or should he be doing more? That's what I want to talk about.
Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
And the truth is, we don't really know what Jordan does.
I have
behind
no
that
idea.
door.
Me either. He's so under the fucking cover.
All
of
I'm
it.
saying is we know we know what LeBron's doing right now, and it's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
So just leave it at that. I don't know what Michael Jordan. I'm sure Michael Jordan's helped out plenty of people, and I'm sure he's funded plenty of charities. I wouldn't doubt that. I'm just saying that my argument has always been, especially when it comes to your sorry ass, is that you've always found reasons to hate on him, and every time it's like it kind of reminds me of the Republicans hating on Obama when he was in office. It's like Obama could do no right. Whatever he did, whether it came out with a positive outcome or not, they still found reasons to hate on him. And up until he joined the Lakers, that's what you did for years. You always found a reason to hate
You're
on
not
him.
telling the truth.
Okay. Well,
You're
I'm
telling the
done.
truth. I was a LeBron. I don't want to talk about LeBron, first of all. But since
You
wanna
brought
say
it up.
I want to talk about Jordan. I even said I want to talk about Jordan. I told you I loved LeBron when he was in Cleveland. I didn't like it after he made the decision. I told you that. But let's get back to Jordan. I want to say it again because these dudes are hating on Jordan.
Want to get back to Jordan again.
They hating on Jordan because they feel like he's not doing enough for the black community. I don't know if Jordan needs to do any more.
What has he done? We
Who
don't know.
knows?
If he
That's
done-
what I'm
knows?
saying.
if
We
he
don't
done
know. All
anything-
we know
Does
is he's
he
charged.
owe-
He's
does he
charged black
owe
folks
us
hella
anything?
money for some shoes that's
and they
overrated.
we still buy them.
And they over.
Do we
And
owe him
I own a
anything?
lot of pair of Jordans, but I will say they are overrated. Ain't none of them bitches comfortable. None of my Jordans make me say, "Ooh, these feel good." Not like Air Maxes and shit like that when you put on them. We pay all them fucking monies for all that fucking monies. We pay all that fucking money for Jordans and shit. And like I say, he an asshole. He ain't even my favorite player. I just don't get it. I guess I'm a sucker like everybody else. I just fall for I gotta have him to be cool or whatever.
But you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah,
No, you ain't.
yeah.
Because
I
my
don't-
van,
if he
cause
says
my
something,
van
it'll
game,
come out wrong.
My
If
van
he
game is
doesn't, he
strong
doesn't.
right now. I don't even
Yeah.
wear Jordans no more. My van game is strong. So
But
fuck
that's not,
Jordan.
I understand what you're saying, but you're going past the Jordan part. I'm just trying to understand.
This motherfucker talking about
Does he
shoes.
owe us? Does he owe us anything?
But if you don't
as
talk
a
about
race?
if you don't
Does
talk
he owe
about
us anything?
shoes when it comes to Jordan, what are you gonna talk about?
Right,
What
but
I'm
I'm just
asking
saying,
you.
That's
does
what I'm
he owe
saying.
us
We don't
anything?
know shit else about him.
Right, his involvement with with topics that's going on in what's going on.
But that's
in
what
the
I'm
country.
saying. We
But
don't
he's
know shit
damned
about
if
him.
he do and damned if he doesn't. If he says something, it's gonna come
So
out wrong and they're
so
gonna
I
interpret it wrong.
challenge
Yeah.
I
He'd rather
challenge
just shut up. He'd
I
rather just
challenge
say,
you
"Fuck
guys
it."
right now to say something about Jordan other than basketball
Nope.
or his shoes. besides his big ass pants.
He on a whack ass
Dad
team.
pants.
That's basketball.
Oh, I thought you said.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know shit about Jordan besides
know.
he had a gambling problem a long time ago.
Jordan
And
probably
there's
got a
some
lot of skeletons
there's some
in his
shaky
closet.
stuff that happened with his dad's murder and stuff like. We
Well-
don't know nothing about nothing with him.
Well, this is what I want to say. What I got out of Jordan, out of me personally, out of Jordan. Just so we can move on. Since you said
Eating in the
Fucking
mic.
kids and shit. Look, goddamn kids in the room.
he was a great motivator of putting in hard motherfucking work can get you what you want. Simple
don't
as that.
believe
I just think that Jordan worked his ass off and to
But
get
see,
to
that,
where
that
he
ain't
wants
got
to
nothing
be.
to do with nothing.
Get to where he wants to be.
That ain't
and
got nothing to do
that's
with nothing.
what people should be looking for Jordan for. I'm not looking
Why
for
the
Jordan.
fuck? But,
I'm not looking
okay,
for Jordan to
okay,
tell me how to
this.
start business.
As a
I'm not
basketball
looking
player,
for Jordan.
why the fuck do we look at him as somebody who worked? You're saying that
Because he
all we want to look
typical
at Jordan
kid.
for he's a motivator who worked hard to get where he wanted
Right.
to get.
Got cut from the varsity team.
And that makes
worked
him
his
the-
ass off. No, I'm just saying that's a good story. That's a good story.
It's a good
I'm
story
happy
for
about
you.
that.
Nobody else likes
I'm
that
happy
fucking
about that.
story.
I'm happy that he put in the hard work to get where he needs to get, and the hard work will get you where you need to be. I'm happy about that story.
And so
I
you
don't
can't
need
say that
Jordan
same
to
thing
tell me
about
how to be
LeBron.
black. I don't need
So
Jordan
you
to
can't
tell
say
me.
that same thing about LeBron
Same
James.
thing about LeBron. Same thing about
Oh,
LeBron.
but now you can say it because he's a Laker. You couldn't
Nick,
say that
stop.
shit a year ago.
Why are you just so much wanting me to hate now?
Why am I wanting you to hate? You've
I'm
been
letting
hating.
go.
Kevin, if you tell the truth, you've been hating on LeBron. You've said it on the
Told
show how you were the
before
biggest
I
hater.
hated him. I told you before I hated him.
But now all of a
I
sudden
even
you're going to
told you
say
why
he's
I
one of
hated
the. Okay,
him.
now he's got the same story that Jordan has.
He was a kid, worked hard, did what he had to do,
Man,
made it.
next
I just thought
topic.
made bad choices. But the thing is, I'm
Next
trying to
topic.
get to that
He
point,
gotta
and I
bring
want
up
you
Michael
to.
Jordan
I
every
want
show.
a comment from you. I want to hear from you.
Ah.
I want to know. Do you think Jordan owes us anything? I want to
Fuck
know.
Jordan. I don't want to talk about him. What does he owe us? What do you mean? Why
You
does he
know,
owe us?
These
Who said he
people-
owes us
These
something?
people are basically saying
Stop.
Jordan avoids any political
Okay, you
black
said-
issues.
so you said
Jordan does
basically.
not deal with anything to do with the black community.
I ain't
Jordan is
heard
not a. That's what these people are saying on
I
these
ain't heard
Twitters
that.
and emails. And
I heard that he
goddamn
said he's a
reading is
fan
bitch.
of.
We gotta-
he's a
read
fan of
some of this
LeBron
shit,
James.
man.
First of all, we got to stop depending on celebrities to be our voices.
Thank you.
They live in a totally different world than we do.
Thank you. I agree, Tone. I agree.
He
I
ain't
don't
somewhere in some
That motherfucker don't owe me anything.
Copacabana,
LeBron don't owe me anything.
Some bullshit smoking a cigar with dad pants on with the newest Jordans, and we're sitting here like fuck, paying bills and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not.
We ain't
I'm-
even in the
I don't-
same
I could-
market.
I could care less. I'm not gonna wait on him to speak on any social.
I don't even think
issues.
Jordan's game. I don't even think Jordan's Jordan game is any good. Like, you know what I'm saying?
wears
His
it.
shoe,
That
his
fool
shoe
Eric keep
game
bringing
ain't that
back the
good.
Shoes.
Does
No.
he even wear his?
Cause
own
he
shoes?
said that Jordan, he's just sitting back in his dad jeans wearing the latest pair of Jordan. I don't think that when I see pictures of Jordan, his shoe game ain't even that good.
Oh, shit.
It's a trip how somebody else wearing his shoes has better shoe game than he does.
Well, he is like.
I rock my Jordans better than he rocks his.
something.
That's funny as shit.
He don't got no
I
swag.
guess I just never gonna get an answer. Jordan, I'm gonna say it myself. You don't owe me shit. Thank you for
Nobody
the
ever-
basketball memories. Thank
Who
you
the
for the
fuck-
years.
Every day he
Besides
gotta
that, fuck that.
he gotta give praise to Jordan every fucking thing.
I don't gotta give praise to Jordan.
This fucker just said,
We trying
"I
to
just
get
want to
some-
thank you for what you gave." Who the fuck?
We,
Why are we thinking?
I know. Marketing.
Fuck it, trying to get
We trying to get Jordan's
We don't
sponsorship
Jordan.
on this podcast.
that fucking. Hey,
Hey,
get
Do
back
your
what
thing.
That stingy motherfucker ain't giving nothing.
do your thing, Nike. That's so.
We got anything else up there?
Where you go? Hey, where you going this week? You.
Oh shit, the kid going to. I got one more spot.
Oh, we don't want to hear. Fuck that. Shut up.
Shots are fired.
Y'all fucking hit me with my own shit.
Man. Shots are fired.
Ah, shit. Anyway, that's the show. See you motherfuckers later.
Man, we
That's
a soundboard. This
you
motherfucker.
fucking-
Shots fired. Where we going? Where?
That was a good one too. You got me. My mouth was open.
You going? my mouth was on. You you ain't going over Colorado this time. You going where now?
I'm going to Mexico.
Mm.
For
Where in Mexico? Where?
Hey, you better stay the fuck out of Mexico.
I'm going to Mexico for the weekend.
Okay, Mexico.
That's
is-
how players do. We go. I'm going for the weekend. Give me
You
some
going
tacos
to the whole
and come
country.
back.
You're just going to get a taco.
You just going the whole country.
He
You
ain't-
ain't not.
the
not
motherfucker
one
ain't going to
specific
get some
place.
tacos. He's going to get one taco.
Cabo Luke, some shit.
Cabo San
something.
Lucas.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
One taco. That's all he's going to
I
get.
said tacos.
One taco.
S. Tacos.
Nope. Like
You
the
gotta
look.
get the taco with the cow tongue on it.
Nah, I ain't doing that though.
You got a passport, Eric?
That's true.
Yeah, I got a passport.
Woo! We got stamps on that
Wait,
bitch.
wait.
He went to Fiji.
I've been out of. I've
I
been to
know.
Fiji,
You well
Germany,
traveled.
England.
You got stamps on your
That was
shit.
on military.
You need a
time.
new one yet?
No, it wasn't. Not all of it.
Where?
Fiji wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. But you said Germany.
Shit, remember my sister was.
That's how we do it here. Uncut.
This
Alcoholic.
motherfucker don't.
Is that your second one?
Remember my sister was born in England. I lived in England.
Yes,
for-
sir.
I started school in England. You didn't know, huh?
Uh,
Hello.
Boy, mate.
Are you Negro?
Hold on. We might have some English listeners, and I don't want to disrespect the Englishmen.
You fucking blacks.
This fucker
Oh,
straight
wait.
Hey, people in England, they
Hold on.
like-
Idris Elba is going to be
That's
pulling
Americans
up.
that are.
No.
That's Americans that's racist.
Idris Elba pull up on shit.
Hey, y'all
Man,
see
they-
Johnny Manziel throw all them
Woody-
interceptions the other day?
Mad motherfucker. You just
Look,
need to
here
give
he
it
go-
up.
Here we go again.
No, we
You need to
already
give
got-
it up.
We already went. Well, hold on. We already went through that sports shit. So
I mean,
you
it's
going
on the
to
TV
Cabo
right
St.
now.
Lucas for how many
How
days?
the fucker get the ball back?
God damn
I think it's.
St.
Hang on.
Lucas.
Can you rewind that?
it. Is that?
Did he throw
Woo.
2 interceptions in one play?
Yep. Looks like it.
I fucking like he threw 2 interceptions in one play.
Is that arena football?
Damn.
That might be old. Anyway.
So go ahead
Where we
and,
at?
and
Oh,
fill
I'm
us
going
in
to
about
Mexico.
Cabo.
I'm going to Mexico.
How many days?
I'm just going for the weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Be back Sunday night.
Ain't they nice living in California? You just go down to Mexico for the weekend and shit.
Well, you know, that's all right, I guess. I'll
Yeah.
tell you all about it when I get back.
How you gonna prep before you go?
Prep for what?
You know prep.
Oh, well, you know, I gotta get the. I know where you're going now.
You know where I'm going.
Well, I gotta get the pedicure because your toes gotta be right when you get, you're out there in the sand
When
and
you're
stuff.
wearing your chocolatas.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh shit.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay. So y'all gonna say y'all too y'all too manly to get pedicures? Nobody in here get a pedicure.
Oh no, fuck that. I'll get one.
Tone, you ain't getting no pedicure.
This is on record. Kev and E, we ain't got a pedicure.
Damn right.
Ain't
I've
nothing
had
wrong.
pedicures.
Yeah,
Shouts
I
out
did.
to y'all. Ain't nothing wrong.
Man, like
Do your thing.
I'll take it a step further.
Get that-
It's been
you
years,
know what?
but
No,
yeah,
I
I've
ain't
been
The
doing
lint
that.
out your toes, everything, right there.
I even haven't put clear toenail polish.
Oh yeah, to make your toenails shine.
Make it glisten.
You even have? You actually have toenails? Like the nail?
Yeah.
Damn.
Ouch. Yeah, I got toenails.
You know,
Look,
some motherfuckers
they a little
got
rough right now, but they all right.
Ooh.
They a little bright because they ain't getting no sun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
We don't want to say our career, but
Tone. So
I don't.
You
I
never
don't
had a
do-
pedicure?
Nah, you ain't touching my feet.
Get this
Mm-mm.
punk ass.
That shit feel good, dog.
That military
That
done
wax
fucked
they
up my
suck you.
feet.
They
Man,
soak
you
your
ain't
feet
messing
in
with
that
my
wax
shit.
and Eric.
You need to get you a pedicure.
Military done fucked up my feet.
You need to get you a
Mm-mm.
pedicure, bro.
Yeah, man.
Ain't that wrong? Although I did bust that shit open, then all of a sudden you get like
I don't care what you call it. That shit feel
Ain't
good.
nobody trying to hear all
when you
that, Tom.
bust your toe
Go
and
get a
shit
pedicure.
right there. Nah, I ain't doing that shit. Mm-mm.
Your woman told me she wished she would get a pedicure.
Man, she ain't said shit to
She
you.
told me that.
She don't even know your first name.
She told me. I said, I don't even know why you with him. She said, I know. He won't even get a pedicure.
Damn.
Shit. Ain't nobody getting no pedicure in this motherfucker. Only you and Kev.
Shit.
I keep pedicures. No, I ain't gonna lie, I don't keep pedicures. But for this, I'm going to Mexico. I gotta have my toes right. That sounds so fruity.
Why ain't nobody gonna be looking at your toes?
Man, they do be looking.
You wearing your sandals.
Okay, I'm doing it for myself then. I gotta get a pedicure to go to.
Say it. Say it.
I gotta get a pedicure to
For
go
yourself.
to Mexico. for myself.
Yeah.
All right, so what?
You want to treat your shit right.
That's right.
I want my shit right.
Sandblast those motherfuckers.
What? First of all, there you go. My feet ain't in bad. My feet ain't in bad condition like that.
No, I'm just saying. Sometimes you. Hey, listen.
All right, we done.
Time to kill this shit.
Look at LeBron in them $500 shorts. I found them shorts. Them motherfuckers was selling for $500.
Damn. Fuck all that.
Just because the Lakers is written on the front.
I don't know why they were, but that's what
On your junk.
motherfuckers was fat.
The Lakers right across your junk.
Hey, Kev.
Yep.
What? I got a present. Somebody bought me a present. I got a LeBron James Laker T-shirt, the black and gold one.
Ooh.
Say James on the back, number 23.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's that. Anyway,
Come on,
all
come
right,
on.
This in it.
That's it. Tone, that's it. That's all.
That's it. I'm gonna wait till he comes back.
Let's
Let
get
me
it.
know if roaches and crawl over his pedicure feet.
Here we go. Roaches.
Mm.
I mean, why you gotta bring a roaches?
Hey, I want to interject something new. If you're listening to us and you get a chance to get on Instagram, you
Tell
want
'em.
to put some topics out there for us to talk about, you
Tell
want us
'em.
to chat about something, go ahead and put it out there, man. Go ahead and send it over to us and we can get into it. It'll be, I think it'll be a real nice added feature to our show, a little interaction with y'all. So go ahead and make it happen.
And of course, we still on. What is it?
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud,
iTunes.
Podbean, iTunes.
Rate us on iTunes,
Google.
y'all.
Yeah,
Let
make
us
it
know
happen.
you
Make it happen. So hey, that's the motherfucking show. Get with us. All I gotta say is peace.
Love you, ma.
All right.
Pedicure, baby. Pedicure.
Roaches.
I ain't got them rough ass toes like y'all. Yeah,
Talons.
your black ass feet, nigga. You got hoofs. They may even feed them hoofs.
Damn.